from the CSI Softball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island. CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II softball coverage live on the ECC Network. In today's conference matchup, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Mercy College Mavericks. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Andrew Rotundo, and we join you from behind home plate for our final softball broadcast of the 2023 season. The Dolphins come in 11-35 on the year, 3-15 against the ECC. The Mavericks come in 13-29 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. And Andrew, the Dolphins were eliminated from playoff contention on Sunday. These two games, their last two games of the 2023 season. What are you looking for from the Dolphins here today?
Well, absolutely, Joe. Last two games of the season, they suffered a few big losses against Stack, 7-1 and then 7-0 in that doubleheader. And, today they're going to want to look for some success. We've seen it all season, what this team can bring and the persistence that they have. And they're going to look to end the season on a good note, Joe. They're going to look to wake the bats up early as well. They're going to look for some great pitching from Miramontes here in Game 1 in the Circle.
Well, ahead of first pitch in today's game, the Dolphins are going to recognize their lone senior. Graduate student Rianne Mayer is being recognized out on the field right now. She is taking a position in the circle alongside her coaches and is being presented with flowers and a frame commemorating her CSI Dolphins career. Rianne, just a Dolphin for one season, but started in 41 of the team's 46 games behind the plate. That's a lot of catching. Dolphins really only have maybe one other player on the roster capable of catching, so Mayer was forced to shoulder a big burden behind the plate, starting a lot of games at catcher, and she performed well this year.
Yeah, and like you said, Joe, she's done a great job. Big workload for Mayer, but she handled it well for the Dolphins. We saw it plenty of times this season. And Mayer has she's been that person behind the plate for the Dolphins this season.
Following her graduation, she is moving on to become a paralegal. So congratulations to Rianne, who will have a nice career beyond the softball diamond as well. So for the Dolphins, as I mentioned before, final two games of the regular season. The Dolphins do come in looking to snap an extensive losing streak. The Dolphins have lost 12 in a row. The Dolphins also are looking for their first win of the season against Mercy. Entering the 2023 season, the Dolphins were 4-4 against the Mavericks, but Mercy took the wins in both games earlier this season. As the Dolphins struggled to score in those games, a combined one run in the first game. The Dolphins did win the second game. That was my mistake. The Dolphins did defeat the Mavericks in the second game between the two teams earlier this year, so the Dolphins will have a chance to win the season series from Mercy with 2 wins here today.
Yeah, Joe, and as you said, we've seen it. We've seen this team. We've seen what this team can do, and we've seen this team beat the Mavericks this season, and they have a chance to take the season series against this team, and that's definitely a positive coming out of today. If they can get a victory, I know playoffs is out of reach at this point, but that's definitely a huge positive coming away with a couple victories here today.
And this is, of course, the McDonald's pregame show. We'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge our scoreboard sponsor one final time before the 2023 season comes to an end. McDonald's presenting you the pregame show each and every game all season long here at the Softball Diamond. So as starting lineups are being introduced out on the field, Andrew and I will step aside and take a quick break. When we come back, first pitch in this East Coast Conference matchup between the College of Staten Island and Mercy College.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And we are back from the CSI Softball Complex. Season finale here from the College of Staten Island. 2 games left on the Dolphins' schedule. And those 2 games coming in conference play against the Mercy College Mavericks. Mercy playoff bound as 4 teams qualify in the East Coast Conference on the softball side of things. Dolphins hoping to hand the Mavericks a loss or 2 before they head on to the ECC playoffs. And tasked with slowing down this Mercy lineup is Alexis Miramontes, who gets the start for the Dolphins here in Game 1. Miramontes comes in, having appeared in 22 games this season. That's second on this Dolphins team. She's pitched to a 4-11 record with a 6.03 ERA. And her first pitch of the game misses for ball 1 to Shannon Cisco. Cisco comes in, Mercy's second leading hitter at .385. Comes the 1-0. That's fouled straight back.
Well, Cisco seems to be a good leadoff hitter as she leads the team in runs and hits. 36 runs on the air, 57 hits in 148 at-bats on the season.
We are underway about 2 minutes early today. First pitch coming at 1:28 p.m. as that skips in for ball 2. After this next pitch, we'll get you the Dolphins' defensive alignment, as that is lined foul down the left field line. First to third, Noth, Acosta, Caffel, Moore, and then left to right in the outfield, Carrion, Carcano, and Acosta. Behind the plate, Rianne Mayer. So a bit of a different look for the Dolphins today in terms of the personnel out in the field.
Yeah, Alyssa Acosta, we're used to seeing her over in left. Today she's out in right, and we'll see how she fares out there.
Also, Sabrina Caffel gets the start at shortstop. She got in late on Sunday at third base in one of those games and immediately had 2 tough chances on the infield, as it's a walk to open the game for Shannon Cisco. And we've seen this before for Dolphins pitching early in games, just struggling to find the strike zone.
Yeah, and we've seen this specifically with Miramontes, too. And she needs to find a way to bounce back quick here, and this is going to be another good batter here in Victoria Apollo, batting .330 on the year.
Runner going on the pitch. Not a great jump for Cisco, but the throw's a bit high, and she's into second base safely.
Yeah, not really the best throw, and Cisco's able to get in there safely, way ahead of the throw.
Typically for the Dolphins this year, the throws to second in an attempt to cut down base stealers, they've been pretty good. The issue has come receiving those throws and applying the tag. And in many cases, it's the shortstop who comes over, crossing in front of second base to apply that tag. That's not an easy position to be in. And the reason that happens is because so often when runners steal second, there's a runner on third who's a threat to score. That's a bunt foul down the first base line. And the count goes to 1-2 on Victoria Sapala.
The Dolphins already find themselves in a sticky situation here with a runner at second and nobody out. Miramontes, though, ahead in the count 1-2. This would be a big out already here.
1-2 on its way. That's fouled back. Mentioned the walks for Miramontes, 33 in 72 innings, but only 27 strikeouts. That's sliced foul. That's been a big issue for the Dolphins pitching this year. They've gotten ahead in the count, but when they have not been able to put hitters away. Hitters have been off balance. Just getting those swing and misses have been tough. So that sails up and away for ball 2. We've said it all year. This pitching staff changes speeds very well. But they need to find a way to get those swing and misses and put hitters away. Once again, that's fouled off.
Well, Miramontes is getting Sapala to swing here. Sapala getting a piece of it every time here. And she's battling away with Miramontes.
Miramontes looking for a big strike 3. And that won't be it.
That misses high. Now full count once again, this time for Sapala.
And it's easy to chalk it up to command issues, but when hitters continually foul off pitches and you have to throw many more per at bat, that's not close for ball 4. But when you're forced to throw 7 to 10 pitches in an at bat, a walk becomes more and more likely. And these hitters, when they're not swinging and missing, force these Dolphins pitchers to throw some more pitches, and that results in the walks. It's not always command issues. That misses high. At the plate, a very dangerous hitter in Kayla Crawford. Among the best in the ECC. Leader in batting on this Mavericks team at .463. And Miramontes gets her to pop it up. And that will be an infield fly.
Yes, it will. And that's a big out for the Dolphins with runners at first and second, nobody out. And they get the best hitter, Kayla Crawford, who's batting .463 on the season. That's incredible to pop out on the first pitch.
That's a big 2-pitch out for Miramontes and the Dolphins. The question is, did Nick acknowledge that infield fly? He did. Very good. We love an infield fly here at the commentary desk. 1 away now, top half of the first inning. There's a swing and a miss by Samantha Frank for strike 1. Frank, the last of 4 Mavericks hitting above the 300 mark. All 4 Mercy hitters that have come to bat so far hitting above 300. That misses outside. One ball and 1 strike the count on the Mavericks first baseman. And that misses away for ball 2. That's a vicious backswing she takes on those practice cuts, slamming that aluminum bat against her number. You can hear it from over here. You can hear it pretty clearly from where we're seated, as that catches the outside corner for a called strike 2.
If I'm not mistaken, Joe, we've said that about a few hitters that we've seen over the last year or so. They tend to do that, but I don't get why or how, honestly.
Habit. And there's a good off-speed pitch that is swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 away in the inning.
Big out for Miramontes. Big swing and a miss as she's starting to find her stuff and get comfortable there in the circle as she gets 2 big outs after walking the first 2 batters.
2 away, road first inning. And it will be left to Sydney Johnston with 2 on as the first pitch is fouled away. Johnston comes in hitting .286 on the year. Top 5 Mavericks hitters in terms of batting average, hitting 1 through 5 in the order. And Johnston takes ball 1. Here comes the 1-1. And that's hit hard, but well foul.
Now just after a shaky start for Miramontes, walking the first 2 batters, she's just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
Comes the 1-2 pitch. And that misses down and away. According to the Mavericks roster, Johnston, one of 6 Mercy College seniors playing in today's game. This is the last game of the season for them as well, as that shot right back up the middle for an RBI base hit. Cisco comes in to score the game's first run, and the Mavericks lead it 1-0.
Yeah, that one was hit right up the middle as I'm going to get it back up here on the replay. And that drives in the first Mercy run. That was hit hard right up the middle by everybody.
That RBI base hit gives Johnston a team-leading 31 runs batted in on the season. That has to be among the leaders in the conference as well. Right up there with Anissa Acosta for the Dolphins. As that's hit sharply through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Throw coming to the plate. Looked to be in time, but it got away off the glove of Mayer. Each runner will move up a base, and the Mavericks now lead it 2-0.
Yeah, unfortunate play there for the Dolphins as the throw back home looked to be good. Looked to be a good throw back home to get the last out, and instead Mercy with the 2-0 lead here, as you'll see it on the replay.
Good effort in left field by Carrion. Strong throw to the plate. Got it to Mayer on one hop, but with the runner bearing down, there was a very tight window where that ball bounced. And I think that impacted Mayer's ability to receive that throw cleanly. It hit off her glove. At the plate now, Alexandra Caravias. And she takes a ball. Count even at 1.
Yeah, Miramontes quite unfortunate as she was working after the first 2 batters, and here's another one.
That's another hard hit ball. This one through the right side. Runner is safe at first as the Dolphins tried to make a throw there. And with that base hit, the third Mavericks run comes home. Johnston scores, and Mercy leads 3-0.
Yeah, now they're starting to rake here, Mercy, as that was another hard hit ball. This one in the right field, and they drive home another run easily. And it is 3-0 Mercy already here in the first, and that will do it for Miramontes.
The Dolphins were an out away from a scoreless first inning, and that was not to be. As Johnston kept the inning going with an RBI base hit. And since then, Mercy has delivered back-to-back hits, one by Smart and one by Caravias. And that has given them a 3-run lead. Alexandra Frenza on to pitch for the Dolphins. This is appearance number 33 for Frenza on the year. She comes in with a record of 5-12 and an ERA of 5.79. She has 13 starts this year, 19 appearances in relief. This is her 20th relief appearance of the year. In 94 1/3, she's allowed 105 hits, 90 runs, 78 of those earned. She's walked 73 and struck out 58. Opposing batters hitting .281 against her. That batting average against is the best on this Dolphins team.
And she's going to look to turn this around here for the Dolphins. As we mentioned, Miramontes was 1 strike away from getting out of this inning with no score. And instead 3 hard hit balls to bring home the first 3 Mercy runs to get Miramontes out of this game. And let's see how Frenza can turn this around for the Dolphins.
At the plate now, Haley Puglia, and she swings and misses for strike 1. Puglia comes in hitting .232. Runner took a few steps off first, but Caravias retreats back. Comes the 1-1. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Great spot for Frenza there.
She looked fooled on that pitch.
Definitely.
That's off the inside corner. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Frenza comes in and strikes out Puglia to bring the top half of the first inning to a close, but the Dolphins trail 3-0 early. First turn it back for the Dolphins coming up after this break.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we are back from the College of Staten Island with the Dolphins trail 3-0, entering the bottom half of the first inning. Alyssa Acosta will lead things off for the Dolphins. Alyssa Acosta, Anissa Acosta, Amelia Funston, Liz Moore, Mariah Carcano, Natalia Noth, Rianne Mayer, Jessica Carrion, Sabrina Caffel. Dolphins lineup. First pitch to Acosta, misses high for ball one. That lineup will face Michaela Sakota. Sakota comes in having appeared in 14 games this year, just 4 starts. She's pitched to a 1-5 record with an 8.4 ERA. That's sliced foul, so chance for one of the Mavericks' lesser-used pitchers to get some reps. Here in the final 2 games of the season, the Mavericks have locked up a playoff spot. Dolphins enter today's game trailing the all-time series against Mercy 6-4. Dolphins surrendered 11 runs in the first game between the two teams earlier this year, then bounced back to win the second 4-3. That's line foul. One ball and 2 strikes the count on the CSI right fielder Acosta. And she takes outside.
Good battle so far for the leadoff batter, Alyssa Acosta, who we're not used to seeing leading off the order. We've seen it a few times, but a little bit of a different look to this Dolphins lineup today, shaking things up.
And Acosta goes down swinging for the first out. And that will bring up Anissa Acosta.
Now batting the second baseman, number 34, Anissa Acosta.
Well, great start so far in the circle for Sakota as she gets the first batter swinging there, and Alyssa Acosta now gets Anissa Acosta trying to get the Dolphins on base.
That's fouled away, out of play. Back on April 12th, Dolphins faced Adelphi University. Those games are played on the road. Since that doubleheader, the Dolphins have scored more than 3 runs just once. So this offense has really struggled down the stretch of the season as Acosta looks at a strike. However, Anissa Acosta has gotten red hot during that time and has had a trajectory in the complete opposite direction. And TJ takes high.
We've seen it at times. Anissa Acosta puts this Dolphins team on her back at times. Really carries it through with her at-bats.
That's popped up on the infield. And the catch is made by Sakota for the second out. Back on Sunday against St. Thomas Aquinas, Acosta was responsible for the Dolphins' only run. CSI lost Game 1, 7-1. Game 2, 7-0. And Acosta drove in the only CSI run. Two away, Amelia Funston at the plate. And she takes outside. Funston comes in hitting .259. Comes the 1-0. And that's lined the other way for a base hit. And Funston is on with a 2-out single.
Well, Joe, that should give the Dolphins some life as Funston comes alive with a base hit. 2 outs, nobody on. Lines that right into left field in the shallow gap. And that'll get it going for the Dolphins.
That will bring up Elizabeth Moore. And she takes outside. Moore among the Dolphins, who has played the most games this year. Only Anissa Acosta has played in more. That's popped up. Foul territory. And the catch is made over the shoulder by Frank for the final out of the inning. Dolphins pick up a base hit in the home first. They strand one. We head to the second. Mercy over Staten Island, 3-0.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
And we are back. Top half of the second inning from the CSI Softball Complex. If my voice sounds a bit different, it's because I tried to go without the mask today, and the allergens in the air simply would not allow it. So we're back to the mask.
Well, at least in my headphones, Joe, you really don't sound any different, so it's not bad.
Yes, but I have to sit here and pinch the front of my mask so that I can talk. It's a little tight.
Okay.
I had more room in the Joker mask.
Where is the Joker mask?
Fresh out of the washing machine, but I have to mix it up.
Yeah.
Leading off for the Mavericks is Mia Harris here in the top of the second. She's ahead 2-1. And Friends and misses with ball 3. They're going to have to make one of these masks with an opening in the mouth. This one's super tight.
Just cut it out.
Then I ruin a perfectly good mask. These aren't your typical face masks. These are basically 3/4 masks that go up to the eyes and all the way down your neck. Heavy-duty stuff.
Look at it this way, though. You need to breathe.
I need to speak.
That, too.
It'll sound like Darth Vader on the headset if I breathe through the mask. So that pitch is taken up and away for ball 1. Shannon Cisco at the plate. Mavericks leadoff hitter. She looks at a strike. Cisco walked her first time up, came around to score. Mavericks sent 8 to the plate in the first inning. Cisco takes outside.
And once again, already one on here to lead off as for the second inning in a row to get the leadoff runner on by way of a walk.
Comes the 2-1. That missed badly, and Mayer skips a throw into second to make sure the runner could not go. 3-1 the count now on Cisco. Friends in danger of issuing a second straight walk, and she does.
Well, they did the same thing back in the first inning. First 2 batters get on by the way of a walk, and they do it again here. The Mavericks with no outs in the inning. Runners at first and second with Harris over at second. And now Cisco on at first with another walk in this game for her.
That pitch bunted right back to the circle. Frenza goes to first, where Acosta got there just in time to cover.
She did. That was a dangerous play. Dolphins nonetheless are able to get the big first out. Otherwise, that could have been big for the Mavericks with nobody out in the inning.
One away, two in scoring position. That pitch is taken for a strike by Kayla Crawford. Miramontes got Crawford to pop up on two pitches in her first at bat, and that really set the stage for her to escape that first inning. And now Crawford's behind 0-2. Frenza ahead of Crawford 0-2. And there's a swing and a miss for strike three. And Frenza had Crawford guessing there.
Yeah, not a very long at bat either. Frenza got her down fast. 1-2-3 almost swinging for the big second out of the inning.
Once again, the Dolphins with a chance to escape here in the second. Very similar situation to what we saw in the first. Samantha Frank at the plate. She's behind 0-1. And she fouls away another.
Second at bat in a row. Frenza ahead in the count quickly, 0-2.
Frank struck out her first time up. Here comes the 0-2. And there's a swing and a miss for strike three. Nice job by Alexandra Frenza to escape trouble. She strands two in scoring position. Two walks in the inning for the Mavericks, nothing more. They lead CSI 3-0.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
For the second inning, as Mariah Carcano lines one off the glove of Sakota and into shallow right center for a base hit.
We couldn't come back quick enough, Joe, as Carcano leads off the inning in a big way. She hits one right off the pitcher and gets on with a leadoff single for the Dolphins.
Natalia Noth at the plate, and she takes inside for ball one. And that's it. Well beyond the left field fence, but well foul.
And Noth got all of that. She could just straighten that out.
Noth takes ball two. After that last swing, she now has a chance to hit ahead in the count, 2-1. And that catches the outside corner. That skips in for ball three. Carcano going as that pitch got away just a bit. And the throw is not in time.
Great heads-up play by Carcano to see that ball rolling. And she's able to get down to second safely.
And the payoff pitch is sliced foul.
Big chance for the Dolphins with Carcano over at second, nobody out. And a big chance to get on the scoreboard and into this game. Noth with the full count.
Comes the 3-2. And once again, that's fouled away. Count remains 3-2 on Noth. And the payoff pitch is hit well out to left, falling fast, and Noth just got under it as the catch is made for the first out of the inning.
And Cisco had a good deal of running to come on there and left as it was a little bit more shallow. And she makes the hustle to get over to it for the first out and keeps Carcano over at second to bring up Rianne Mayer.
And that's hit the other way, foul territory, and it lands out of play.
Mia Harris was hustling over for that and made a bid, and it was out of range.
At the plate, Rianne Mayer, the lone Dolphin senior. Chance here to pick up a runner in scoring position. And there's a swing and a miss for strike two. Comes the 0-2. That's taken up and in. Here comes the 1-2. And Mayer lines one the other way. That's down for a hit. Carcano being sent home. Throw to the plate a bit high, and Mayer goes to second. They had Carcano dead to rights at the plate, and she hesitated on her way down the line. And I think that's the reason she got in, as she made the second baseman hesitate on the throw. And once Smart had to think about it, she lost the play.
I think you're right. A little bit of a silver lining there, Joe.
What an unusual play.
Very unusual. Dolphins take advantage, though, and they get in this game. And a great job all around there.
Rianne Mayer has a senior day RBI. She now stands in scoring position at second. The Dolphins are back to within 2 runs, and Jessica Carrion comes to the plate. Infield way in against Carrion, and that's slapped foul. Carrion in a 2-strike hole here. Would love to slap one through that drawn-in infield. And that does get by the third baseman. Throw to first, not in time. And it's an infield hit for Carrion. Johnston was playing way in and was about maybe a step too far to get a glove on that one.
Yeah, and she played a little bit too close there, and the ball gets by, and that allows Carrion to use her speed and to reach first. Barely does, but nonetheless, Dolphins are able to get on there once again and get runners at the corners with just one away.
And Sabrina Caffel will be the batter. She takes ball one. Caffel has just 13 at-bats on the year. 1 of 13 at the plate, looking for her first RBI in the spot. Caffel tries a bunt. That goes foul. Comes the 1-1. That's a called strike. One and two the count on Caffel. Runner going from first. Throw goes to second. Carrion is tagged out, and Mayer will score.
Well, the Dolphins able to cash in a run there as they sacrifice Carrion in between first and second. Mayer takes advantage, and she's able to come home, and the Dolphins are now just within 1 run.
With With your number 9 hitter up, I see why the Dolphins decided to go in that direction. It certainly worked. However, if Caffel is able to draw a walk here, do you perhaps regret that a little bit?
I don't know. They were able to pull within 1 run, so.
Caffel strikes out, so ultimately it looks like a good decision. As the Dolphins do get the second run home, they now trail by just 1, our score, 3-2, heading to the third.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Third inning from the CSI softball complex. Dolphins are pulled back to within a run. Our score now 3-2. Sydney Johnston leads things off for the Mavericks and lines one straight into the glove of Liz Moore.
1 pitch and 1 out there from Frenza and the Dolphins, as that one went right to Liz Moore, right off the third base for the first out.
Can't ask for much more than that. If you are the Dolphins, 1 pitch and 1 out. And that comes after Frenza had to work hard in the previous inning. And she has another swing and miss here. Nicole Smart went up the ladder after that first pitch for a strike. And she's quickly in a 2-strike hole now.
Well, she does it again. She goes up high, fetching for that pitch again, and misses down 0-2 quickly.
Smart 1 for 1 in this game with an RBI, and that's hit well out to deep left center. And Carcano can't get there. That's off the fence on a hop. Throw goes to second, not nearly in time. And Smart is in with a stand-up double.
Well, Joe, that came out of nowhere, honestly, because that was looking to be another quick out for Frenza. And instead, Smart takes this and just drills it into the left center gap. And she stands over at second with just 1 away.
There's another swing and miss. Alexandra Caravillas at the plate. She's 1 for 1 with an RBI. Chance for another here. And she's quickly behind 0-2. Frenza's had good stuff so far in this game. Comes the 0-2. That misses away. Here comes the 1-2. And that misses as well. Each team with 4 hits in the game. Mavericks hoping for a 5th here. That's ball 3.
From 0-2 to 3-2 goes Caravillas.
Behind Caravillas, the 8 and 9 hitters. And Caravillas goes down swinging. Another strikeout for Alexandra Frenza. She now has 4, and there are 2 away here in the third.
Well, a good battle from both Caravillas and Frenza, as Frenza quickly went ahead 0-2. Caravillas battled back, got 3 straight balls to get the full count. And now that pitch gets away, and runner able to advance.
Dolphins hoping that with 2 outs, that wild pitch won't be consequential. But now 1 more of those and the run is in. Other than that, you can approach this at bat normally. There's a second pitch strike.
And Friends is really finding her spots, especially in this inning.
At the plate, Haley Puglia. She's 0 for 1, struck out her first time up, and is now behind 1-2. Puglia was the first batter Friends have faced back in the first inning. And she looked a bit overmatched in that inning, as that's taken high. If Puglia can keep the inning going, Mia Harris is on deck. Here's the 2-2. That's popped up. Should be an easy play for Acosta, and she's got it to retire the side. Mavericks strand a runner on third, and our score remains 3-2, headed to the home half of inning number 3.
For me, just kind of was the glue that kept my family together, I feel like. I don't know what it was that drew me in, but after I started playing for a while and started seeing some early success as a little kid, to see how much it meant to my parents to see me play the game and try to make a difference was really what fueled me to keep playing and stay competitive. Being a triple major is not necessarily easy, but at the same time it is what you make it. Being a tighter-knit university, I have a lot of classes with the same professors, so they know me pretty well. I think it's that personal relationship that really helped me to thrive as a student. I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
Bottom half of the third inning opens with a foul ball down the left field line, out of play. At the plate, Alyssa Acosta for her second at-bat of the game. She opened the game with a strikeout back in the bottom half of the first. And that sliced foul.
Going right after it here to open the Dolphins' third is fouling off her first 2 pitches of the inning.
Oh, 0-2 the count on the Dolphins' right fielder. That skips in for ball 1. And the 1-2 is chopped back toward the circle. Hit slowly. Throw a bit high from Sakota. But that was reeled in by Frank over at first base for out number 1.
Yeah, Frank really had to reach for that, as the throw was just a bit off, but she's able to get there, and Mavericks able to get the first out and to bring up Anissa Acosta for her second at-bat of the game.
Acosta is 0 for 1. But she comes to the plate in a spot here where one swing could tie it. That's popped up just beyond the infield. And the catch is made by the shortstop, Seppala. And there are 2 gone.
Yeah, and once again, another outfielder, or infielder, I should say, running over to grab that. Seppala able to get there over by the left field line for the second out. 2 up, 2 down for the Dolphins here in their side of the third.
2 quick outs for the Dolphins here in the third. And Amelia Funston will be the batter. Funston with one of the 4 Dolphins hits. And she looks at a strike. Here comes the 0-1. And that misses down and away. Comes the 1-1. That's ball 2. 2-1 the count on the Dolphins' designated hitter. And Sakota's pitch is popped up on the infield. Easy play short for Sapala, and the side is retired. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 in the third. Our score remains 3-2 Mavericks.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back for the fourth inning from the CSI Softball Complex. Still a one-run game between the Dolphins and the Mavericks. Mia Harris leads things off for Mercy. It takes ball one. Harris walked her first time up. And she's quickly ahead here, 2-0. That's taken for ball three, so Frenza has missed with three straight to open up the fourth.
Well, that's a first. First time we've seen that from her in this game.
And the 3-0 is in for a called strike.
Harris thought for just a split second that she could take off for first. And Frenza just able to catch the zone and get back in this.
I'll be honest with you, I thought the same thing. As that's chopped to short, Caffel has it, throw across the diamond in time. And Harris is retired for out number one.
Well, a great job by Frenza and the Dolphins infield to get that back as Frenza quickly behind in that count 3-0, but the Dolphins able to take care of it and get the first out with the throw down to first.
Shannon Cisco will be the batter. That's sliced foul. Cisco, without an official at bat in this game, has walked twice. Now, for those of you who are following via live stats, Stat Crew has crashed. We are working on it. We have to get pictures of the play-by-play to make sure that we don't lose everything we've input thus far. But Lewis is working on it, and we should be back within the next half inning. 1-1 the count on Cisco. That's fouled away. Now, Andrew, if you recall, down in Florida, we had the same problem where the program crashed and we had to do an inning from memory. I don't believe it erased the entire game. And then for the rest of the trip, I was saving every half inning.
Yes, I
That's
remember
hit
that.
to short, and Caffel had it go right under a glove.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate situation. That was one of those trying to throw the ball before you had it in your glove, as she thought she had it, and instead it was rolling underneath her glove. And a base hit for the Mavericks with one out.
I think Caffel felt she had to hurry there. And maybe she did. That ball was hit hard enough, but definitely not scorched. That likely goes down as an error, if I had to guess. No error on the scoreboard yet. Lou's trying to speak to me without a headset. I can't hear a word he's saying, so we'll have to wait till the next half inning. Now, Andrew, you had your hand out. Were you feeling raindrops?
I see raindrops.
Oh, you see raindrops?
I see raindrops.
That's not good.
No.
All right, so what we'll do, we have a towel. We will hide the count, and we will throw the towel over the Mac. So hide the count, Andrew.
Okay.
Go grab a towel from the other table. Actually, it's on the table to our right. Cover the Mac, mute yourself, and if it gets to be any more than a drizzle, we're going into rain delay protocol. We have not engaged rain delay protocol on the broadcast this year. That does not mean the game will be delayed for rain, but it does mean that our stream will change. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. That's popped up behind home plate, and it lands out of play. 2-2 the count now. And that's hit well out to left, but Carrion makes the grab on the run. Carrion has played a great outfield since she arrived here at CSI. Got a great break on that ball and made sure that one wouldn't get down.
Now batting the catcher, number 41, Kayla Crawford.
I do see the raindrops as well, Andrew. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave the mat covered. Every once in a while, Andrew, just check in on our camera feed to make sure that we don't have rain on the camera. If the rain gets bad enough where we have to break the camera down, we do have our inclement weather graphic. We'll throw that up on the screen and do audio. The question is, where did Marquise park the cart? He's in the dugout. I'll ask him in between innings. Behind the dugout. That could be Allison's cart, though. Unless we're sharing. Nonetheless, 2 outs in the inning. Kayla Crawford at the plate with a runner in scoring position. The count 1-1. That's taken outside. Alexandra Frenza looking to keep this a 1-run game. And that misses for ball 3. First base is open. The Dolphins choose to use it. And that gets away from Mayer. Throw to third, not in time. So Cisco moves up a base. And Crawford draws the walk. Now runners on the corners and 2 outs.
Well, just as you said that, she's able to get the walk and able to take first. So Mavericks now have runners at the corners, and now a little bit of a visit in the circle for Frenza and the infield.
Well, I had a feeling the Dolphins would be a bit careful there. Rightfully so. Crawford comes in swinging a hot bat, one of the best hitters in the ECC. Two away. Runners on the corners. Samantha Frank coming to the plate. And a chance here for the Mavericks to extend their lead. Frank shows bunt. The runner is going from first. The Dolphins throw to second. Throw comes home. Not in time. Well, Caffel tried to look Cisco back to third. Cisco wasn't having it. She took off, and the throw just wasn't in time.
Yeah, and Caffel was in a situation where she had to make a split decision there. And unfortunately just couldn't make it in time.
That decision is typically made by the dugout before that situation comes up. So the dugout will let the infield know what the plan is, whether it is to try and get the third out and concede the run, or to concede the runner taking second and force the runner to stay at third. And that lands about 5 feet behind us in the bleachers. 0-2 the count on Frank. Not only does a run come in to score there, but now another runner is in scoring position. So a base hit here could make this a 3-run game again. Big pitch from Frenza coming up. And she gets the strikeout. So Frenza sets down Frank swinging. And the top half of the 4th inning comes to an end. Dolphins now trail 4-2. They come to bat after this break.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
Liz Moore leads things off in the home half of the fourth and fouls away the first pitch. Right now, the drizzle, if there is any, remains light. So we're good, but for now, we're going to proceed with no count in order to keep our computer covered as Moore sends one foul into the left field corner, and she's quickly in a 2-strike hole. Now, Andrew, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we've had a raindrop while working a game here at softball all year.
Yes.
I don't think that has ever happened before.
Yes. 100%.
And Moore takes ball one now.
Which, compared to last year, is surprising.
Yeah. Though I don't think we had any really bad weather last year.
There was maybe twice I remember we had to cut it short.
Did we? Twice?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you this. I would never cut it short. We find a way. The camera might come down, but...
Not cut it short, that's what I meant. But the camera came down, and we did audio only.
I do not remember that at all.
One of them you weren't here for.
Where was I? Up the hill? Or just not here?
That was the one game you left me to do play-by-play.
We went audio only in that game?
Yes.
Really?
I believe so.
Didn't remember that. But that would make sense because I wasn't here.
Yeah. And it was raining.
So Carcano fouled back that last pitch. It hit the mask of the home plate umpire, which prompts a conference in the circle for the Mavericks. In the stands behind us, basketball players calling the umpire the ref. Close enough. Carcano and the home plate umpire having a good laugh about that last pitch. Not sure I'd be laughing if I got hit in the face mask.
You weren't when you did get hit in the ribs.
I was not laughing, that's for sure. I was excited for a moment that I had the ball, and then when I realized
You realized what happened.
When I realized my right side was purple, I wasn't excited anymore. We survived. The ball didn't hit the ground, so it's technically a catch. Now, speaking of catches, faculty staff versus student softball and football, both coming up. We're within a couple of weeks now. I got back in the gym on Monday. We are moving toward a return to the field as Carcano fouls that pitch away. Now, Andrew, are you attending the games?
I hope so. I hope they're not in the 5 days that I'll be in California.
That's a good point. When are you in California?
10th to the 15th.
I think you're good.
Okay, then I'll be there.
Love to hear it. That's popped up beyond the infield. And the catch is made on the run by Cisco coming in from left.
Now batting the first baseman, number 24, Natalia Nuff.
That will bring Natalia Noth to the plate. Now, Andrew, do you have any experience swinging a bat? Baseball, softball, you have played.
I do.
So all of us have experience.
I played when I was younger.
Up until what age?
Maybe 8.
All right, so I have a little bit more experience than you. I played through about 10 or 11.
I have swung a bat since then, though.
Okay. Well, I did once, not counting the games here as Noth takes a called strike. But when's the last time you went to a batting cage?
Maybe a couple of years ago. Year or two
So fairly
ago.
recent.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I showed up to one with my cousin. We didn't have batting gloves. They were aluminum bats.
Oh.
I was tapped out after 50. You get 15 swings. I was tapped out after 15 swings. He didn't make it through 15 swings. He was laughing at me. Wow. I'm like, okay, you try it. He got in there. He did not make it through 15 swings. That's how bad it was hurting our hands. We gave away all our tokens to a lucky bystander. We got out of there so quick. Haven't been back since.
I don't blame you.
Now you're sounding like Lewis. 2-2 the count on Noth. And that off-speed pitch is tapped to the left of the circle. And the throw is in time. Good play there by Sakota as she gets Noth at first for the final out of the inning. Dolphins go down in order. Our score remains 4-2, headed to the fifth.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and with like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, "We have a prodigy." So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Fifth inning from the CSI softball complex. Dolphins lead it, or I should say they trail 4-2. The Mavericks at the plate leading by 2 runs. Leading things off for Mercy, Sydney Johnston. And that's taken down and away.
The drizzle seems to have subdued, Joe, so count is back.
Love to hear it. Comes the 2-1. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. We spoke about it when it happened. That wild pitch allowed the runner to move to third during the last inning, as Moore will make the catch on that infield pop-up for the first out. But we said it before, Andrew. That wild pitch in the last inning allowed the runner to move to third. And ultimately, that cost the Dolphins a run. Outside of that, Frenza has pitched really well, has given up just the 1 hit.
Yeah, she's done a great job in relief. As we've seen this season, they've put her in this position, and she has succeeded, and today has done the same, as the Dolphins still trail 2 runs, but hasn't been really up to Frenza.
You can make the case she's been better in relief than she's been as a starter.
I agree.
Just the 1 hit thus far. Few walks. Now, I'm looking at our live stats. Is Lou still going 1 pitch at a time right now?
Judging on the chuckle, I think so.
Oh, Lou. I gotta, he says, as I'm trying to use the live stats to call the game. May have to make an executive decision on this one. That was quick. We were just top 4th, 1 out. Now we're in top 5th, 1 out. Impressive. Here comes the 2-1. And that's lined the other way, and that's down for a hit. Once again, Nicole Smart on with a base hit, and she has both hits against Frenza.
That was a loud ring off the bat, and she got all of that one and ripped it right into the right center gap and gets the offense going once again for the Mavericks.
Alexandra Karavias will be the batter. They have to go mask up again, Andrew. It's getting worse each inning. Karavias 1 for 2 with a run batted in. Also struck out her last time up. And she takes up and in for a ball. So during the break in between innings, I went over and asked over at the scoreboard about the error that took place in the field for the Dolphins. And I forgot. They cannot see the left side of the infield, so they had no idea there was an error. Had to tell them.
Yeah, the position over there, in my experience doing public address, can't really see anything.
And the reason they were over there in the first place is because our audio cable reaches only 6 feet. So they have to be close enough to get audio over the speakers. The scoreboard operator technically could be in Lewis's seat, but Lewis can pass the scoring decision over. As the count runs full on Caravias.
And that was a close pitch for Frenza. I thought she might have had her there.
This is a very important pitch for Frenza here. The complexion of this inning changes completely with a walk. And instead, it's a strikeout. Frenza now has 5 punch-outs as she gets Caravias swinging.
Well, Frenza continues to throw heat in the circle as she gets, as you said, her 5th punch-out of the game. And she continues to breeze through innings. Dolphins just need to get the bats going and get back into this game. Just down 2 runs here in the 5th.
And Haley Puglia takes a strike. Puglia is 0 for 2. She's also struck out in this game. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Frenza continuing to power pitches right past these Mavericks hitters. So that misses high. Outside of Smart, who's 3 for 3 in this game, no other Maverick has gotten great swings since Frenza came in. Here's the 1-2. And there's another strikeout for Frenza. She now has 6. And she strands 1 on base in the top half of the 5th inning. Dolphins come to bat, trailing 4-2 after this break.
Stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Rianne Mayer will lead off for the Dolphins in the home half of the 5th inning. She had a base hit her first time up. Drove in a run. Mayer was honored ahead of the game in a brief senior day presentation. And that's hit hard toward the middle, but Mayer didn't get enough of it as that was off the end of the bat. And she's thrown out for out number 1.
Yeah, slow roller towards second there off the end of the bat. Nonetheless, Mavericks able to handle it, and they get the quick first out on Mayer. That'll bring Jessica Carrion to the plate, who had a big hit in her first at-bat.
Carrion hit a dribbler toward third, and she hit it just hard enough to get it past Johnston. That went for an infield hit. And that is hit straight into the glove of Sakota. 2 away.
Oh, what a grab. That was, right up to her, but heads-up grab by Sakota. We'll see it again on the replay.
That pitch fouled away by Sabrina Caffel. Comes the 0-1. There's a good off-speed pitch by Sakota.
Yeah, not only was it off speed, that pitch dropped in a little bit when it approached the plate.
And there's another swing and a miss by Caffel for strike 3. Back-to-back good drop pitches from Sakota for the strikeout, and that brings the 5th inning to a close. Our score remains 4-2, Mercy over Staten Island.
NCAA Division II Community Engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Sixth inning from the CSI softball complex as Mia Harris looks at ball one. Harris officially 0 for 1 with a walk. There's a swing and a miss. Mavericks 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors. The Dolphins 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error. That misses low. Two and 1 the count on Harris. And that's bunted foul. Count even at 2 on the Mavericks right fielder. Frenza looking for strikeout number 7 here. It's fought off foul. There has been some action in the Mavericks bullpen just about all game, but no serious throwing. Perhaps just the Game 2 starter getting ready. Comes the 2-2. That misses high. Three balls and 2 strikes the count. Payoff pitch coming. That's ball 4. And you just hate to walk the number 9 hitter to start an inning.
Yeah, that's the second time she's walked in this game. And this time it's against Frenza. And the leadoff runner is on for the Mavericks to bring the top of the order back up as well.
Top 3 hitters in the Mavericks lineup, if I'm not mistaken, have combined for 5 walks. Just 4 official at-bats between them. 1 through 3 hitters being Cisco, Sapala, and Crawford. And I do believe they have drawn a combined 5 walks in this game. The 1 and 2 hitters with 2 each, and Crawford batting out of the 3 spot with 1. Cisco fouling that first pitch away is behind 0-1. And that's bunted back toward the circle. Frenza has to hurry, and the throw to first is not nearly in time.
Yeah, Frenza really had to hurry up to that ball. That ball just almost came to a dead stop in the dirt, and she had to run up and grab that. And the fast legs of Cisco get down to first.
I'm not sure Frenza was going to have a chance, even with a really quick turn and throw. Wouldn't be shocked if the Mavericks bunt again here, as Victoria Sapala takes ball 1. Comes the 1-0. That's in for a strike. Middle infielders back for the Dolphins. Moore playing in at third. Noth just about in line with first, as that's another bunt. And Frenza loses the play. And Andrew, I think after having to hurry on the previous bunt, she tried to hurry a bit more on that one and didn't need to as she lost the play.
I was just going to say, I think she tried to go for that one just like she went for the first one. Same situation. This time it didn't take a stop in the dirt. It rolled right to her. And she kind of overstepped it a bit, and it hits off her glove, allowing another runner to reach.
Frenza has 6 strikeouts. She could really use one right here. As Kayla Crawford is the batter, the bases are loaded, nobody out. And Frenza quickly gets ahead 0-2. Frenza 1 pitch away from a huge first out. Comes the 0-2. And that was foul tipped. Crawford looked a bit off balance on that swing. Here's another 0-2 pitch. And that is swung on and missed for strike 3. Crawford lunging at that pitch, goes down swinging. And that's a huge first out for Frenza and the Dolphins.
Yeah, it is a huge first out as I put the towel back over. The count's got to go away, Joe, as I feel more raindrops coming. But a big first out for Frenza there with bases loaded.
I'm starting to see the raindrops as well. Samantha Frank, the batter. Fouling away that last pitch. She's behind 0-1. That's popped up, and Mayer's got it. 2 gone.
2 big outs for the Dolphins there with bases loaded. Frenza comes up with another big strikeout, and then a pop out at the plate. Mayer is able to get right underneath it. Great job by the Dolphins to keep all runners held at the bags.
Two away in the inning. Sydney Johnston, the batter. Mavericks looking for some insurance. The Dolphins looking to keep this deficit at 2. Johnston ahead 1-0. Here comes the pitch from Frenza. That catches the outside corner. Count now even at 1. That's taken high. Big pitch here. Really don't want to fall behind 3-1. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Frenza 1 big strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed when Mavericks had the bases loaded with nobody out.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. And that just missed. Comes the payoff pitch. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Huge strikeout for Alexandra Frenza, who escapes a bases-loaded, nobody-out jam. She keeps the deficit at 2, and the Dolphins come to bat, trailing 4-2 after this break.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive. to achieve every goal we aim for. Because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Top of the order for the Dolphins here in the bottom half of the 6th. Acosta, Funston. As Alyssa Acosta looks at strike 2. You missed just a couple of pitches to open this half inning as we came back from commercial break. That's it right back to the circle. Throw goes to first in time, and there's one away in the inning.
It took a hard bounce in the dirt, but straight to Sakota in the circle, and she makes the easy turn. And that brings up Anissa Acosta to the plate. One quick out for the Dolphins.
Now, some of our viewers may have expected this game to be played on Saturday, which was the original plan. We have quite a few scheduling changes to talk about this weekend. This, of course, is the first of those. These games originally scheduled for Saturday moved up to Thursday. Game 2 coming up next is, of course, a doubleheader as Anissa Acosta takes a called strike. Baseball opens their series on the road against St. Thomas Aquinas College tomorrow. That's a huge series for them. I will be traveling with the team tomorrow to score those games at Stack. And then originally we had a doubleheader scheduled here on Saturday. That has since been moved to Sunday. Still not sure what our broadcasting situation is going to look like for Sunday, but we'll be here. Live stats, live video. So tune into that on Sunday as TJ Lines went into left field for a base hit. And the Dolphins have a one-out base runner. That will bring the tying run to the plate.
And Anissa Acosta gets the job done in that at-bat, and she gets all of that and lines it right into shallow left field. And a big hit for the Dolphins. Let's see if they can get the offense going. They only trail 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Dolphins with 5 outs to play with. However, we also had another Dolphins hit from Funston, but to continue with my previous point quickly, my company working outside of CSI was also asked to cover a game Sunday, which we had to decline because there was a 95% chance of rain on Sunday. So there's no guarantee they play here on Sunday. Of course, they hope to get those conference games in. Dolphins will send in a pinch runner here. Avery Mockery represents the tying run, and she will run for Amelia Funston over at first base. Elizabeth Moore will be the batter. An extra base hit could tie this game. And Moore swings and misses for strike 1.
Mavericks had number 16, Marina Provencio, in their bullpen. Now they have number 6, Alexi Benson, working in their bullpen.
Benson is their number 1 pitcher in just about every statistic. Leads the team in wins, starts, complete games, shutouts, innings pitched, strikeouts, and batting average against. As Moore pops one up to short. Catch is made easily. 2 away.
And that ball was just chipped enough to stay in the air over at short. And it's a big out for the Mavericks as the Dolphins had 2 runners on with only 1 out. And Carcano comes up to the plate with 2 on, 2 out.
Mariah Carcano batting 5th in the Dolphins lineup as that's flared out to shallow left. But Cisco has it, and the side is retired. Dolphins get back-to-back hits in the inning, but they strand a pair. And we head to the 7th, Mercy leading 4-2.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Seventh inning from the CSI softball complex. Dolphins still trail by 2. Back-to-back hits in the inning for CSI in the bottom half of the 6th, but nothing more, as both runners were stranded, and the Mavericks will come to the plate looking for some insurance here in the 7th. Nicole Harris at the plate, and once again she hits the ball well off of Frenza. That one hops the wall and left. And Harris is now 4 for 4. Excuse me, Smart is now 4 for 4. Did I say Nicole Harris, Andrew?
You did.
I did. Nicole Smart. My mistake.
I knew what you meant, though. That was a big hit. You'll see it again on the replay here. And she rips this one into the left center wall. And she is in standing at second to lead off the 7th.
Smart has had a great day at the plate. 4 for 4. Couple of extra base hits. And an RBI. She's now in scoring position. At the plate, Alexandra Caravias. She bunts one down to first, and Noth applies the tag. Not surprised there. The Mavericks look to bunt. However, bottom of the order is coming up, and Frenza has done a really good job striking hitters out in this game. She has 8 strikeouts.
Incredible.
She might need one more here. And that's bunted towards second. But the runner was not going on contact. And the Dolphins losing track of Puglia. Nobody covering second. And Puglia moves up an extra base. Andrew, that just can't happen.
That definitely can't happen. And Frenza was holding on to the ball. All she had to do was turn around and toss it to second. Anissa was telling her.
Well, that eliminates the possibility for a double play, though I don't think a double play is likely in a situation like this. Harris has shown a willingness to bunt and should have decent speed, so I don't think the double play was in order. Mavericks could look to bunt again. If you're willing to bunt with a runner on third and 1 out, you have to think they're willing to bunt here as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dolphins' middle infield is about halfway. The corners are in, as that's fouled back for strike 2. Frenza now 1 strike away from a big strikeout. Comes the 1-2. That's hit hard through the left side for a base hit. Smart is in to score, and the throw gets away from Noth. Moving up to second is Harris, and Mercy now leads it 5-2.
Yeah, and a big ripper right through the hole into left allows a run to come home, and Mercy extends their lead. They get the big insurance run that they were looking for here in the top of the 7th.
That's a big hit for Harris out of the 9 spot in the Mavericks order, as now you give the top of the order a chance, and Mercy has an opportunity here to break this game open. Once again, the Dolphins playing the corners in. Caffel also in it short. Costa maybe halfway, as that's flared into shallow center, and that's down for a hit. It's off the glove of Carcano and recovered by Caffel. In to score with the 6th Mavericks run is Puglia. Harris moves up a base, and it's an RBI single for Shannon Cisco.
Well, Mavericks are now starting to pour it on a bit here as that one finds a spot just past the lip of the infield for a base hit and allows another run to score. now up 4 the Mavericks.
At the plate now is Victoria Spala. She gets ahead 1-0. That's sliced foul. We have Frenza's pitch count at 118. So you have to think she is not available for game 2. That sails to the backstop. Count now 2-1. 2 in scoring position once again. Mavericks now double digits in hits with 10. Dolphins bring the infield in, and Frenza misses badly for ball 3.
And once again, Rianne Mayer having to go upstairs to grab that as another sailor from Frenza makes it 3-1.
No action in the Dolphins bullpen as Frenza misses badly once again.
And unfortunately, that's going to load the bases as Mavericks earn another walk in this game with just still 1 out here in their side of the 7th. They have bases loaded.
At the plate is Kayla Crawford. Conversation in the circle between Natalia Noth and her pitcher, Frenza. Crawford also had a word with her coach in the third base coaching box. If that is the head coach coaching third base, that's Jamie Lorenzo. And Crawford takes high for ball 1. Now the good news for Frenza here is that she has had some success against Crawford. Crawford has struck out against her twice. That's fouled away. One ball and 1 strike the count on the Mavericks catcher. And if the Dolphins are going to have a chance here, they need to get Crawford out without another run coming in. 5 runs with 6, 7, and 8 due up, a really tough ask. Comes the 2-1. That is smoked foul. I think we had spectators flinch on that one, Andrew.
We did.
I did not.
I didn't either. A year of improvement.
Getting better every broadcast. Though, if we're at that middle table, do you think you flinch?
Hard to say. Because I've had some foul balls come right at my face, sitting here, and I've been doing a pretty good job of not flinching, so.
Love to hear it. Here comes the payoff pitch. That's hit in the air. Shallow left. Foul ball. Not by much.
Not by much at all. Right by the left field line in shallow left. Remains a full count here.
Tough to see, but I don't believe there's any action in the Dolphins bullpen.
There is not.
Which means this inning belongs to Frenza. Count 3-2. And that's hit well deep to right center field. But Crawford didn't get all of it, and Acosta makes the catch. 1 run comes in to score on the sacrifice fly, and the Mavericks now lead it 7-2.
And that was hit deep into right center. Alyssa Acosta comes on and makes a great grab with the hustle. But unfortunately, Mavericks able to advance a runner from third, and they extend their lead to 5. 7-2 now here in the top of the 7th with 2 outs.
Crawford just got under that one. Samantha Frank, the batter. 2 outs, runners on the corners. And the Dolphins will have no choice but to let Sapala take second. Want to know the count on Frank. That's low for ball 2. Comes the 2-0 pitch. That's in for a called strike. Comes the 2-1. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Dolphins have asked a lot of Alexandra Frenza in this game. But she's one pitch away from getting out of this inning. And she does. Strikeout number 9 for Frenza, but not before 3 runs come home in the 7th. Mavericks now lead the Dolphins 7-2. Dolphins down to their final 3 outs.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Bottom half of the 7th inning from the College of Staten Island. Dolphins down to their final 3 outs. Natalia Noth will lead things off for the Dolphins. She's 0 for 2. That skips in for a ball. Michaela Sakota came in with a record of 1-5 in the circle for the Mavericks in search of her 2nd win. She's 3 outs away. Dolphins hope to have something to say about that as Noth hits one over to short. And the throw to first is in time from Sapala. There's one away.
Yeah, big throw from Sapala there over at short. Put a lot of power into that to get Noth over at first for the first out. Dolphins down to their final 2.
Rianne Mayer will be the batter. Mayer 1 for 2 with an RBI in the game. And she takes a called strike. Once again, Game 2 set to begin about 30 minutes following the conclusion of Game 1. And Mayer looks at that pitch high. Game 2 will be the final game of the regular season for both teams. That sliced foul. Now, we actually took a look at the record books last night to see if the Dolphins had set a record for games played. And after a quick glance, I believe they have. We can double check that, but I'm fairly certain they have set the record for most games played in the season already. I think the previous high was 44. The Dolphins will finish this season with 48 as Mayer pops out for the 2nd out of the inning.
And right to Sakota. In the circle, hardly had to move. She called off the third baseman and said, I got it. The Dolphins are down to their final out.
I'll tell you this for sure. We have covered more games this year than I've ever covered in any year. And I've been doing this now. This is year 8.
Well, especially including Florida.
Especially including Florida. It's too bad all of those games weren't played at Legends.
Yeah.
1-0 pitch to Jessica Carrion, hit back to the circle. Throw to first off target, and it rolls all the way to the fence down the right field line. Carrion takes second, and the Dolphins are still alive as Carrion will stand in scoring position with 2 outs.
Sakota had a hard time handling that hop right back up to the circle, and the throw down to first was tossed right into the dirt, and it was tough to handle. Carrion takes advantage, and she takes off for second in standing. And Dolphins are still alive to bring Caffel to the plate.
That goes down as an error on the play. I think that's the right call. And Sabrina Caffel takes a strike. Caffel's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Behind her, it's back to the top of the order. Comes the 0-1. That misses low. Comes the 1-1. That misses for ball 2. Sakota looking for one final out in this game. The Dolphins hoping to keep this one going. That's hit softly. Throw to first, just in time. And that will do it. As Caffel is thrown out by Sakota to wrap this one up. The Mavericks take the win here at the CSI Softball Complex. They defeat the Dolphins 7-2. For the Dolphins, they will have one final chance to snap their losing streak before this season comes to an end. They fall by 5, and as I mentioned before, in about 30 minutes, we will get underway in game number 2. We would expect either Anissa Acosta or Madison Edwards to get the start in game 2. That remains to be seen. No indication yet of who will get the start for the Mavericks, but Andrew, Dolphins in the midst of a losing streak entering their final game of the season. A lot of the fanatics gathered here to take in these final 2 games. They would love to wrap up the 2023 season with a victory and give the fans something to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. They definitely would. And, Dolphins had their chances in that first game. Pitching definitely gave them the availability to score, and they just couldn't get the bats going. They were able to get the 2 runs in the second. Mavericks came right out against Miramontes. Miramontes actually had a chance to get out of that first inning. She had 2 outs. She was able to 2 outs and 2 strikes. Was able trying to get out of it. Instead, Mavericks turn around and are able to get 3 runs up. And after Frenza was able to come in, Dolphins did turn the tide just a little bit. They were able to get on the board with 2 runs, make it a 1-run game. But in the end, it was the Mavericks to take it, and they added on in a big way for insurance in that 7th inning to make it 7-2.
And if you're the Mavericks, a chance to get even in terms of your conference record. They are now 9-10 against the ECC. One more win would bring them to the 500 mark in conference play. We'll see if they can get it done in Game 2. The Dolphins, of course, hope to have something to say about that. Once again, this has been Joe Foreman alongside Andrew Rotundo on the call of Game 1. Our final score, Mercy College 7 and the College of Staten Island 2. I am joined on the call by Nick Bavona for game number 2. That's coming up in approximately 25 minutes. This has been CSI Sportsnet coverage of NCAA Division II softball, East Coast Conference play, Dolphins and Mavericks. Game 2 coming up next. And we are back from the CSI Softball Complex for our final home game of the 2023 season. College of Staten Island takes on Mercy College in Game 2 of an East Coast Conference doubleheader. Kelsey Strayer will get the start for the College of Staten Island. We thought that perhaps Madison Edwards or Anissa Acosta might start, but Strayer, who's worked primarily in relief this year, will get the start. This is actually her first start of the 2023 season. First pitch of the game, misses for a ball to Shannon Cisco, and she fouls that one back for strike one. Once again, this is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Bivona on the call for game number 2 of Dolphins and Mavericks.
Oh, Joe, blue and orange skies when I woke up today after the win for the Knicks last night. Dolphins will look to get a big win here to end their season strong.
That's line foul. Very good day for us Knicks fans. It's been a long time coming.
As Lewis just said, bing bong.
Had to shoehorn that in quickly, I see.
Yeah, just for now. That's all you have to get it in once. We'll see how our Rangers do tonight against the Devils.
Andrew and I are looking at those ticket prices. They're getting awfully low. If they get under $100, I think we're going to be there. How could you not be?
I would not blame you at all. I know I pulled a Lewis there, but I would not blame you at all.
I think I have to pull the trigger. I can't go on Saturday, even though I have tickets, as that misses down and away. And the count on Cisco is full.
Talked about Strayer getting her first start of the season. We saw her primarily as a starter last year for this Dolphins team, but has been in relief all appearances this season.
Once again, that's line foul the other way. Now, not only did the Knicks advance, but they advanced to face the Miami Heat, adding another chapter to that legendary rivalry.
And Sunday, it's funny, Joe, it's 25 years on Sunday from the infamous brawl.
Really?
With Alonzo Mourning, yep.
Wow.
And how fitting that Game 1 of that series is on Sunday. And I will be there in attendance to watch that game.
Should be a good time. Currently, we have baseball scheduled here on Sunday. Cisco draws the leadoff walk, but rain definitely putting that in jeopardy right now. The question is, how far back can they push those two games and still get them in? There are no lights. And if it's overcast and cloudy, I don't think they can afford to push them back too late on Sunday, and they may just have to wait until Monday.
And it's big gains, with conference play inbound. The Dolphins are trying to make that late push towards the playoffs. They really need to play those games, and there's a possibility they could get them in on Sunday, but the rain is definitely something to look forward to, or I shouldn't say look forward to, but something to keep for. Yeah, look out for on Sunday and to monitor. Maybe the games be played on Monday.
That's hit shallow center, and the basket catch is made by Carcano for out number 1.
Carcano making that basket catch, as you just said. Nice first out for the Dolphins. And then brings up Kayla Crawford.
So the full numbers for Kelsey Strayer this year. 15 appearances. This is her first start, a 1-1 record with a team-leading 5.2 ERA. In 35 innings, she's allowed 42 hits, 29 runs, 26 of those earned. She's walked 11, struck out 22. And there's a good throw by Mayer to cut down Cisco trying to steal second.
Kind of looked like a Javier Baez tag right there from Caffel. A nice job for the second out of the inning.
2 gone now in the top half of the first. And Nick, they repainted home plate before this game. I can smell it from here.
I can also smell it.
They went hard.
It's not a good smell.
1 ball and 1 strike the count on Kayla Crawford. Crawford went 0 for 3 in game 1 with a sacrifice fly.
That sac fly was a long shot into right center field.
Crawford takes outside for ball 3. She just got under that pitch in game 1. Very nearly had herself a grand slam. Comes the 3-1. That's it for a strike.
Strayer now a strike away from getting out of the first inning and giving the Dolphins a chance to get the first run of the game.
Comes the 3-2 pitch. That's fouled back. in the field for the Dolphins here in Game 2, first to third. Acosta, Ponte, Caffel, and Noth. Left to right in the outfield, Carrion, Carcano, and Acosta, as that's hit well to right, and that is not coming back. Kayla Crawford with a solo home run. She just missed in Game 1, did not miss on that pitch, and the Mavericks have an early 1-0 lead.
You said, Joe, she just missed in Game 1, almost had a grand slam, and did not miss it on that one. Into right field for a home run. The Mavericks strike first to take a 1-0 lead.
Mavericks hit the ball well at times during Game 1. It was mostly Nicole Smart who was hitting gap to gap. She was 4 for 4. The Mavericks in the early game finished with 10 hits. None of those left the ballpark, and their first hit here in Game 2, a home run, off the bat of Kayla Crawford, her 5th of the season. And Samantha Frank fouls that one back, evening up the count at 1.
Yeah, if you're Strayer, you just got to bounce back from that home run. Try to focus on getting this final out of the inning and give the Dolphins a chance in the bottom of the inning.
That's it over to first. Acosta has it. She steps on the bag to retire the side. Mavericks get on the board first. They score once on the Crawford solo shot. We head to the home first. Mavericks leading 1-0.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and with like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, "We have a prodigy." So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
And we are back from the CSI softball complex. Dolphins trail 1-0. Entering the bottom half of the first inning, Mariah Carcano leads things off and fouls back the first pitch she sees for strike 1.
Mavericks getting an early run on the board on the home run from Crawford. Now looking to keep it 1-0 going into the top of the second inning. Carcano will look to make that, get at least on base for the Dolphins here.
Carcano 1 for 3 with a run scored in Game 1, and she has an extra base hit in her first at-bat here in Game 2. That rolls to the base of the fence. It got away from a pair of Mavericks outfielders. Carcano thought about coming home and stopped halfway as she slides back into third.
Well, Joe, they are very grateful she just got back into third base right there. That could have been very disastrous for CSI if the first out was to be recorded on a base running mishap. But Carcano just getting back there with the slide. She's in there to lead off the bottom of the first.
Puglia and Cisco out and left appear to have misplayed that ball. Took a funky bounce off the fence and got away from them.
It ricocheted right off the fence in left center and allowed Carcano to get to third. She thought about maybe going for the inside the park homer, but was wise to stay at third and now gives Acosta an RBI opportunity here.
Tying run at third, nobody out. Dolphins' hottest hitter at the plate in Anissa Acosta, and TJ takes a strike. Comes the 1-1. That misses up and away. Marina Provencio getting the start for the Mavericks here in Game 2. This appearance number 22 for her on the season. Just her third start. She's pitched to a 5.56 ERA. In 45 in the third inning, she's allowed 62 hits, 44 runs, 36 of those earned. She's walked 24 and struck out 29. Opposing batters hitting .326 against her.
And with a 3-1 count, does have first base open.
That's fouled away.
This is a big pitch right here. Ball will put Acosta on first. A strikeout would be huge for her right here. Acosta looking for a mistake pitch to bring home Carcano from third.
Acosta, the toughest Dolphin to strike out, just 9 on the season. That's fouled away.
She had to go down and get that one just to foul it off and keep the count at 3-2.
3 balls and 2 strikes the count on the Dolphins' first baseman. And again, Acosta fights that one off foul.
Early on, that's good for the Dolphins if you're able to force the pitch count very high. And Acosta so far fouled off a couple pitches to keep the count 3-2. She'll have to do it again or at least get home the runner from third.
Comes another 3-2. That's high for ball 4.
And that's what happens when you foul off a couple pitches. You're able to find something and able to work a walk right there. And now, Dolphins at first and third, nobody out. Amelia Funsa coming up, had a couple of hits in her first game.
We said it during Game 1. Dolphin pitchers have issued a lot of walks this year, but a big part of that has been the inability to get a swing and miss for strike 3 in many at-bats. And when you have hitters fouling pitches away, to your point, eventually it becomes easier to work out that walk. There's only so many times you can attack the strike zone.
Especially when you have a good hitter like Acosta up at the plate. It's really hard, as you said, to strike her out. Able to foul off a couple pitches and get that ball 4 to get on first base.
Amelia Funston at the plate fouls that pitch away. That evens up the count at 1. Funston in Game 1 was 2 for 3 at the plate. Base hit here would tie the game. That's taken for a strike. Comes the 1-2. That's hit hard on the ground to second. And the Mavericks do turn the double play. Acosta tried to stop between first and second. But that play was handled nicely by Smart, who applied the tag and flipped to first in time to retire Funston. No RBI, but the Dolphins do tie the game.
Well, Funston did what she needed to do overall in the at-bat, bring home that runner from third base. Dolphins now tie the game at 1, and now they'll have to try to keep the inning going with Alyssa Acosta coming up.
And Alyssa Acosta takes a strike. Comes the 0-1. And that's lined softly to short. Played on one hop. And the throw just in time to retire Acosta for the final out of the inning. But not before the Dolphins get even. Leadoff triple by Mariah Carcano. And a double play grounder brings her home. Score even at 1, headed to the second.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
And we are back for the second inning. Dolphins and Mavericks tied at 1. Kayla Crawford solo home run. Mariah Carcano triple. And double play grounded to bring her home. As Kelsey Strayer's first pitch in the second inning misses for ball 1. At the plate, Sydney Johnston. Johnston in game 1 was 1 for 4 at the plate. And she's quickly ahead here, 2-0.
Strayer was able to get out of that last inning after getting up the home run. Would like to get a quick start to this inning here, but down the count early, 2-0.
And the 2-0 is in for a called strike. Here comes the 2-1. That misses outside. Here comes the 3-1. That's popped up foul. Full count on Johnston. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that's off the outside corner for ball 4.
Looked like Strayer just missed on that one. Nice off-speed pitch. But just a little bit on the outside for a leadoff walk for the Mavericks.
Leadoff runner on for the Mavericks. And Nicole Smart fouls that pitch back. Smart came into the day hitting just .229. 4 for 4 in game 1. Couple of extra base hits. And that's bunted foul.
Smart trying to advance the runner there with the bunt. Going foul and now quickly behind the count 0-2. Or correction, it's 1-1. Thought there was a strike. I was right, Joe. Never mind. Scoreboard is wrong.
That's hit to second. Aponte has it, and her throw is off target. It rolls into left field. Fortunately, Carrion was there waiting. I don't know why Lewis is looking at me. That's a fielder's choice, Lewis. She was out with a good throw.
Now the question there is, Joe, do you go to first base on that throw, or do you think the decision was right for her to go to second?
I think with nobody out, it's the right decision to try and get the lead runner. You just have to make the throw.
Right.
First error of the game against the Dolphins. They certainly had that out with a good throw. That's bunted down the first base line. Acosta has it. Throw to Aponte covering in time. So Elizabeth Stark, with a successful sacrifice, moves 2 into scoring position, just 1 out, and Haley Puglia will be the batter.
The center fielder, number 26.
Now, for the Dolphins, first base is open, so there is potential that maybe you load the bases to try to get the force at any plate, as it looks like Nicole Smart a little bit banged up on the slide from second base, but she's going to stay in the game. So it would be interesting to see what the Dolphins do here. They've got to be looking to see if the Mavericks will bunt once again, as they'll have the infield in. But you do have that option, as I alluded to, with first base open, to potentially load the bases to try to get the force in any plate.
Normally, a bunt would surprise me in this spot. The way the Mavericks have been playing today, it would not.
And right on cue, they go bunt on the first pitch and goes foul.
And Nick, I have to admit, there are a few things more entertaining than being seated here behind home plate when there's a foul pop-up behind the plate.
Definitely brings some excitement to it.
It sure does. I don't know if that comes over our headsets or not. But between infielders calling and the Dolphins dugout, it gets loud over here. Noth handles the bunt, low throw, and Aponte couldn't handle it.
was a low throw from Knopf. And Caffel just could not scoop it at the last second.
Thought we had a call on the infield for potential interference.
I think that was if the runner went from third to home. They weren't going to allow it because the runner knocked over.
Got it.
Yeah, they knocked over at first base on the scoop. So because of that happening, they weren't allowing the runner from third to score. So now it's loaded bases here with one out. The Dolphins do have to play at any plate here. Could really use a double play here to get out of the inning.
Bases loaded, one out. Knopf in a bit at third. Acosta creeps in at first. Middle infield back. Mia Harris swings and misses for strike one. That pitch misses inside. Comes the 1-1. That's inside for ball two.
Dangerous territory potentially for the Dolphins here with the 2-1 count. Cannot afford a walk here, or else the go-ahead run will come in.
Absolutely can't afford the walk. And now Strayer is one pitch away from issuing that walk, as the count runs to 3-1.
Really needs a strike here, either to force something in play or get that second strike.
That's hit softly toward the middle. Flip to second for one. Throw to first. Perhaps ill-advised. And that's a nice job by Acosta to handle that bounce. One run is in to score. But the Dolphins do get the second out, and I think they'll take that. Mercy now leads 2-1.
I think the only issue on that play, Joe, is Caffel maybe could have just stepped on the bag and then thrown it to first base to get the double play. Would have been close. Mavericks, nonetheless, will take the run, and they go back on top 2-1.
Well, I'm definitely with you. Probably should have stepped on the bag, but I don't think they had a chance for two. Would have been tough. But like I said, the Dolphins will certainly take that. And there's a foul ball, as Cisco just got a piece, and the count's quickly 0-2.
Strayer a strike away from minimal damage here and keep it at a one-run deficit going into the bottom of the second inning.
Strayer one big pitch away from escaping trouble here in the second. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That's sent foul.
Kind of seeing this about Cisco a little bit out in front, waiting on that off speed. See if Strayer goes back to it here on another 0-2 count.
Comes the 0-2. Let's take it for ball one. Comes the 1-2. That sails high. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Cisco has drawn a walk already, and she shoots that one foul.
And with the amount of time she's fouling off this pitcher, she's trying to work another walk right here. Count still being 2-2. Strayer really looking for that third pitch strike to get out of the inning.
Comes another 2-2. And there's another foul ball. Cisco certainly not making it easy on Strayer here. Well up over 40 pitches now. Here comes another 2-2 pitch. That's popped up just beyond the infield. And Carrion has it as she calls off Caffel for the final out of the inning. The Mavericks do get one, but they strand a pair on base. Our score, 2-1 Mercy, heading to the home second.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
And we are back from the CSI softball complex, and we're quickly going to take a look at that potential double play from the last half inning once again. I initially thought the Dolphins probably didn't have a chance to turn two. Nick thought otherwise, and upon reviewing the replay, it looks like CSI did have a chance.
If you look on the replay, if Caffel is able to step on the bag, by the time she does, the runner is at the line that where the coaches usually stand, as there is a blooper to short. It's called for the first out of the inning. But by the time the runner is at that line, that's when the throw could have been made from Caffel from short. So they potentially could have turned that double play to get out of the inning. But fortunately for CSI, it led to the second run being scored from the Mavericks, and they now have a 2-1 lead.
Quick first out here in the home second. As once again I'm back to the mask, so my voice may sound a bit different. As Rianne Mayer takes a called strike on the outside corner.
Camouflage today.
We had the Joker mask for the first game, the American flag baseball mask for game 2, masked up anyway, and now the camouflage as Mayer lines out to right. Now, I'm not sure any Dolphin has made outs on hard hit balls this year more than Rianne Mayer.
It seems like that, Joe, a lot. Unfortunately, it does seem like that a lot.
That will bring Layla Aponte to the plate.
Sound his finest Knicks gear here.
I have the Rangers hoodie today, but was rocking the Knicks gear all weekend. Got to get Sal to a game this round. If we're rained out here, I will be there on Sunday. For sure. If we are not rained out here, I would have to do some reorganizing to make it. It's probably unlikely at this point, but that would be a wait and see. I just don't see any way we play.
All depends on the weather.
The weather right now doesn't look good.
Right. That's why originally it was moved to Sunday.
As I mentioned during game 1 to Andrew, our outside company that I work with was asked to cover a game on Sunday, and due to the weather, we could not take that game because it's outdoors and the equipment would be exposed to the rain. Just wouldn't work. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Aponte. And that's it out to shallow right. Catch is made on the run by Harris, and the side is retired. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 in the second. They trail 2-1.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we are back from the CSI softball complex. Dolphins trail 2-1. That's sent foul by Victoria Sapala. Now the scoreboard reads 2-1. Did we miss a couple of pitches?
Not that I remember.
That's what I thought.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Stephanie not taking any nonsense over at the scoreboard. We need a new antenna, Nick.
We do.
Very badly.
As I say, is she like Nino? No nonsense?
I think more so than Nino. It just doesn't quite have that same ring to it.
Yeah.
That misses for ball 2. That's it on the ground to second. Aponte has it. Throw to first in time, and there's one away.
Nice early out for the Dolphins right there. They're trying to keep this game 2-1 going into the bottom of the inning.
Now batting the designated player, number 41, Kayla Crawford.
But they'll be facing Crawford, who 1 yard her last time.
And Crawford pops up a bunt, and that will roll foul.
I can't remember the last time I see someone hit a home run and then bunt their next at bat.
Very, very unusual. I was definitely taken by surprise there. Dolphins definitely weren't playing her to bunt. And Crawford fouls that one away.
If you're Strayer looking for a strikeout here, Crawford was able to hit one on that off-speed pitch the last time. Would Strayer go back to it here on this 0-2?
And the 0-2 misses for ball 1. One ball and 2 strikes, the count. It's taken inside. Crawford got the start behind the plate in game 1. She's the designated player here in game 2. And there's a half swing by Crawford, who was fooled by that pitch. And she goes down on strikes.
Couldn't really decide if she wanted to swing or not on that one. Strayer fooled her there to record out number 2.
2 away in the inning. Samantha Frank, the batter. She's 0 for 1. And she takes a strike. That misses for ball 1. That catches the inside corner. Count now 1-2.
Strayer now a strike away from a 1-2-3 inning.
And that's hit well out to left center field. But Carcano has room, and the catch is made on the warning track for the final out of the inning. Home run bid there by Frank comes up just a bit short. Mavericks go down 1-2-3. They lead it 2-1.
For me, just kind of was the glue that kept my family together, I feel like. I don't know what it was that drew me in, but after I started playing for a while and started seeing some early success as a little kid, to see how much it meant to my parents to see me play the game and try to make a difference was really what fueled me to keep playing and stay competitive. Being a triple major is not necessarily easy, but at the same time it is what you make it. Being a tighter-knit university, I have a lot of classes with the same professors, so they know me pretty well. I think it's that personal relationship that really helped me to thrive as a student. I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
Bottom of the third inning from the CSI softball complex. Dolphins will have 8, 9, and 1 due up. Jessica Carrion leading things off for the Dolphins. Looks at ball one. And the 1-0 pitch sails high. Just one hit per side in this game. The Dolphins have a couple of errors. And Nick, I think the rain's starting to come down again.
I thought I felt the drop.
That's it hard to short. Throw to first in time by Sapala for the first out.
Early out recorded by the Mavericks right there. And Sabrina Caffel comes up for the Dolphins.
So with the rain coming down once again, we'll cover up the MAC. We will hide the count. And once the rain stops, we will continue as normal. Sabrina Caffel at the plate, swings to that pitch for strike one. There's a swing and a miss.
Caffel a little bit behind on that one. Quickly behind in the count 0-2.
Comes the 0-2 pitch. And Caffel swings to that one for strike three.
Quickly 2 outs recorded here by the Mavericks, as the Dolphins will have the top of the order try to keep the inning going.
And Mariah Carcano will be the batter. Carcano opened the game for the Dolphins at the plate with a triple. Came in to score on a double play ground out. And lines out here on the first pitch she sees. Dolphins go down 1-2-3. We head to the fourth. Our score, 2-1. Fourth inning from the CSI softball complex. Mavericks lead the Dolphins 2-1. Rain getting a bit harder here at the College of Staten Island. At the plate is Sydney Johnston. Now, we touched on it during game one. We have not had to do it all season, but if we do have to enter rain protocol, we cover up the equipment, remove the camera, and then we put our inclement weather graphic up on the screen, you will hear our voices. You will not see video. And right now, it is raining about as hard as it has all day.
Yep.
Still not raining hard, but definitely can't let our camera stay out there in this.
Compared to game one, yeah.
So we'll give it a few minutes. The sky does look blue beyond the center field wall.
Not those blue and orange skies I was talking about earlier.
No. I was about to ask you, what time did you wake up if the sky was orange? Right at sunrise. As Johnston was hit by that last pitch. Now, Nick, what I need you to do is to check the status of our camera feed. If the camera's starting to get wet, we'll break it down.
As of right now, I think we're good.
All right, so what we'll have to do is continue to monitor that, and if the camera begins to get wet, we have to take it down. Though, judging by the amount of rain that's coming down, I'm probably a couple of outs away from breaking down the camera.
Well, we'll have an opportunity to decide on that, Joe, as the Dolphins will be making a pitching change here. It's going to be Madison Edwards coming in relief for Kelsey Strayer.
So with that, the camera's coming down. Nick and I will be right back as the Dolphins make a pitching change. Madison Edwards into the game.
And we are back as Madison Edwards is the new pitcher for the Dolphins. This will be her 15th appearance on the season. She's trying to keep this one a 2-1 game. We are currently in the progress of removing our camera. So it will be voice only for the remainder of this broadcast. As Elizabeth Stark showing bunt on that one. Ball was in the dirt. Now it's quickly 2-0. Two and 0 count. First and second. Nobody out for the Dolphins. Trying to get some outs right here. As Edwards misses again, and now it's quickly 3-0. And the Dolphins are one ball away from having bases loaded for the Mavericks. And a potential bases loaded opportunity for Haley Puglia. As that one is called for a strike to make the count 3-1. Three and 1 count. First and second, no outs. Stark showing bunt again. It misses for ball 4. Now the Mavericks have bases loaded, still nobody out. And now for the Dolphins, they're going to have to try to get the infield in here. Play will be to the plate as they try to prevent the Mavericks from scoring any more runs here. Haley Puglia coming up. Bases loaded opportunity. And she hits that one through for a base hit. One run will score for the Mavericks. RBI single for Puglia, and it's now a 3-1 lead for Mercy. A hard hit ball just past Noth at third base. Brings home the third run for the Mavericks. And now a 3-1 game, and still nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning. Mia Harris now up And she swings and misses for a first pitch strike. Oh, one from Edwards. Off-speed pitch on the outside. It's called for strike two. And Edwards now a strike away from a big time out here. And that one's on the outside for a ball, 1-2. Count now 1-2. And that one misses for a ball, 2-2. Count now 2-2. Bases still loaded. Nobody out for the Mavericks. That one's chopped to second. They'll have to play at first base. A run will score again for Mercy. And they now have a 4-1 lead.
Now batting the left fielder, number 9, Shannon Cisco.
And that'll bring up Shannon Cisco. And that one misses for a ball, 1-0. Second and third, one out. First base is open for the Dolphins if a walk was to happen here. Cisco hits that one to left field, and it is caught by Carrion. And the runners will not advance. That's a great job by the Dolphins outfielder there to prevent the runners from coming in and advancing, and it's now 2 away.
Now batting the shortstop, number 24, Victoria Sepola.
And that'll bring up Victoria Sepola here. 2 outs, second and third for the Mavericks. And that one misses for a ball, 1-0. Count is 1-0. And that one again misses for count now going to 2-0. If a walk were to happen here, Crawford would have the bases loaded for the Mavericks. That one chopped foul, now 2-1. It'll be a 2-1 from Edwards. And that one is lined into right field, and it drops in front of Acosta for a base hit. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs will score. It's a 2-run single for the Mavericks, and they now have a 6-1 lead.
Now batting the designated player.
A short line drive into right field, falling right in front of Acosta, bringing home 2 more runs for the Mavericks there, and now a 6-1 lead.
If I go turn this thing off, it wasn't turning for me.
Ball in the dirt, and it's going to allow the runner to advance to second. So a wild pitch there. Now gives the Mavericks another runner in scoring position. First base now open. We'll have to see if they allow Crawford to go to first. And she's now behind the count, 2-0. Two 2-0 count to Crawford. First base is open for the Dolphins. Crawford showing bunt, and it goes foul. Saw that in game 1, where the Mavericks were bunting with 2 outs. And we saw Crawford's last time up, she laid down a bunt. Still ahead of the count here, now 2-1. Showing bunt again. Ball goes in front of Mayer. She will have no throw to third. And now the Mavericks have a runner on third with 2 outs. Three balls, 1 strike. We'll see if Edwards walks her here. And the 3-1's call for a strike to now load the count at 3-2. Huge pitch from Edwards here. Dolphins really looking for a strikeout to prevent any further damage. The 3-2. And it's on the outside in the dirt for ball 4. Crawford reaches first. It's now first and third for the Mavericks with 2 away. And it brings up Samantha Frank.
Now batting the first baseman, number 8, Samantha Frank.
Something into the gap right here for Frank could potentially bring home 2 runs. Dolphins looking to prevent that here. So that one misses for a ball, 1-0. One-0 count from Edwards. Fouled off, 1-1. Hoping that the weather at least stays off a little bit here. As of now, we have a precaution, and we'll be doing voices only here on the broadcast. As that one is lined into right field, and a great job by Acosta. Almost overran the play, but was able to record the final out of the top of the 4th inning. But not before the Mavericks put up 4 runs in the inning. Their lead is now 6-1. Nisa Acosta will lead off here in the bottom of the 4th inning for CSI as they now trail this one 6-1. A 4 spot for the Mavericks in the top of the 4th inning. And the Dolphins will look to try to get some of those runs back here in the bottom of the inning with Anissa Acosta leading off. Takes that one high for ball 1. Count now 1-1. Audio only broadcast for the remainder of this game. Acosta takes that one for ball 2. Six runs on 4 hits and no errors for the Mavericks. That one misses for a ball. Now count going to 3-1. For the Dolphins, they have 1 run on 1 hit and 2 errors. They now trail this one by 5. And a 3-1 count here for Acosta. And she rips that one foul. Count now going to full at 3-2. Acosta looking to get on base here. Full count at 3-2. And she rips that one into right center field. It's a base hit. Acosta will get extra bases on this one. And she is into second standing with a leadoff double. And that maybe could be the spark that this Dolphins offense needs, trailing by 5 runs. A leadoff double for Acosta, and Amelia Funston now coming up with an RBI opportunity. Spoke about it earlier. Funston had a couple of hits in game 1 of this doubleheader. A hit right here could bring home Acosta to give CSI their second run of the game. And she takes that one on the outside for ball 1. Dolphins looking to cut the deficit to 4. Runner on second, nobody out. And Funston hits this one into center field. And the catch is made for the first out of the inning. Puglia with a nice catch in center field. And a huge out number 1 recorded by the Mavericks, as Alyssa Acosta now coming up for the Dolphins. Acosta looking to bring home Anissa here. Infield is in for the Mavericks, as that one just misses for a ball, 1-0. Acosta hits that one foul now. Count going to 1-1. One and 1 count for Acosta. Runner on second and 1 away for the Dolphins. That one's going to be through for a base hit. They'll hold Acosta at third. Both Acostas now are on the bases, first and third for the Dolphins with 1 away. I spoke about it. The Mavericks had the infield in, and ultimately it cost them right there as Alyssa was able to drive it through for a base hit. Nicole Smart, the second baseman, had no play. And now Natalia Noth coming up with first and third and 1 away. And Noth takes that one high for ball 1. One and 0 count for Noth. And now it's on the outside. Alyssa Acosta goes to second. They try to get it out of third, and they do not get it in time. A big sigh of relief for CSI there, as they almost had Anissa Acosta at third base on the double steal attempt. As she is a little shaken up on the play. Count now is 2-0 for Noth. Looks like Acosta is grabbing at her left hand when she slid back into third base. Let's see if Acosta stays in the game for the Dolphins here. They do have second and third, 1 out. Noth is up in the count 2-0. And it looks like she's going to stay in the game. Two and 0 count for Noth here. First base now open. And she swings and misses. Foul tip, it looked like. This count now goes to 2-1. I know Joe Foreman's been running around. Had to get the camera down for now this audio-only broadcast. Had to move the golf cart in case there was more rain and we had to move our equipment. But it seems like he is ready whenever he is to call the rest of this game. Count now is 2-1 as Noth swings and misses for strike 2. count now 2-2. Noth trying to protect the plate here. And takes that one high for ball 3. One of the bigger pitches in this game right now. 3-2, second and third, one out. Walk would load the bases for the Dolphins. And that's exactly what will happen. The bases are now loaded for CSI. A great at-bat by Noth to work the count full. Works the walk. And now Rianne Mayer coming up with the bases loaded, one out. Something into the gap could bring home 2 runs for CSI and trim this deficit potentially 3 runs. As Mayer fouls the first pitch off, 0-1. Costa led up the inning with a double. Her sister Alyssa then had a single as well. And then Noth worked the walk. And that one's called for a strike, and Mayer quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Oh, 0-2 count from Mayer, looking to protect the plate here. As that one's low for ball 1. CSI looking to avoid not bringing home any of the runners here, trying to at least get 1 run as they try to crawl their way back into this game. As Mayer hits that one into right center field, Puglia will make the catch. Anissa Acosta will tag from third. She will score. It's an RBI sacrifice fly for Rianne Mayer, and the Dolphins are now trailing this one 6-2. Mavericks were able to hold Alyssa Acosta at second. She was not able to advance on the tag, so it will remain first and second with 2 outs. And that brings up Layla Aponte for the Dolphins. And she fouls that one off, 0-1. Dolphins looking for a 2-out rally here, trying to keep the inning going. The 0-1. A little bit on the outside for a ball, 1-1. The 1-1. Inside for ball 2. If Ponce were to walk, the Dolphins would have the tying run at the plate. And that one is low for ball 3. And the count now goes to 3-1 for Ponte here. Jessica Carrion is on deck for the Dolphins. The 3-1. It's low for ball 4, and the Dolphins will once again have the bases loaded. And Jessica Carrion now comes up. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Dolphins trailing by 4. As there will be a conference in the circle for the Mavericks. Try and prevent any further runs from coming in here. Have to believe the Mavericks will have the infield in here. It cost them earlier in the inning with Alyssa Acosta getting a single. Carrion will look to make them pay for it once again and try to bring home a run. Bases loaded, 2 away. Dolphins now trailing this one 6-2. And that one's called for a ball, 1-0. They check Acosta at third. She's back in time. That's a dangerous play. If the ball were to get past the third baseman, could allow Acosta to score from third. The 1-0. Call for a strike, 1-1. Mavericks try and prevent an infield single here. The 1-1. And that one is over the second baseman's head. It's a base hit. Jessica Carrion with a big RBI single as once again the defensive alignment costing the Mavericks there. It's now 6-3. Second time in the inning, the Mavericks brought the defense in. They're trying to prevent an infield single, and the second time the Dolphins were able to get a single because of it. And once again, they'll have bases loaded, and now the go-ahead run at the plate. And it's going to be a pinch hitter for CSI. It's going to be Victoria Whaley coming up.
The pinch hitter, number 26, Victoria Whaley.
Whalen on the year is hitting .303. That's third on the Dolphins at batting average. Comes up as the go-ahead run. Something into the gap could tie this game for CSI. And she takes a big swing and a miss for strike one. Huge spot here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Mavericks lead is now 6-3. And Whalen once again taking a big swing and a miss. And it's quickly 0-2. Whalen trying to protect the plate here, keep the inning going. A 0-2 count. And that one is hit to the first baseman. It is a fair ball. Step on the bag to record the final out of the inning. Dolphins strand the bases loaded, but they do score 2 runs. We head to the top of the 5th. Mercy leads this one, 6-3.
And we are back from the CSI Softball Complex. Once again, Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Bavona. And right now, we might be experiencing the least inclement weather we've ever had. Now, the rain was coming down, and we could not take the chance of leaving our camera exposed to the elements, so I broke it down. We went to our audio-only protocol, covered up the equipment on the commentary desk, and continued on. And I would say in about 10 or 15 minutes, the sky is now crystal clear, the sun shining brightly, the temperature has probably risen about 10 degrees, and it is as beautiful outside as it's been all day. Unfortunately, our camera equipment is already away, so we continue on audio only.
An unfortunate sequence of events there, but with the sun out, Dolphins now trail this one by 3. A chance here as they will try to keep it like this going into the bottom of the inning.
As we mentioned before, when I stepped away, Madison Edwards, the new Dolphins pitcher, after a 4 spot in the top half of the 4th inning, the Mavericks took a 6-1 lead. The Dolphins battled back, scored 2 in the home half of inning number 4. And the Dolphins now trail 6-3. 9 runs in this game on only 8 hits between the two teams, 4 hits per side. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Johnston, and that's lined to left field foul.
Dolphins got some good hits in that last inning. 3 of those 4 hits in that previous half inning. Now trimming this deficit to 3 runs. And they're hoping that Madison Edwards can keep it like this going into the bottom of the inning. Strike away from the first out.
Johnston, without an official at bat in this game, has drawn a walk. And that's hit well to right field, off the glove of a diving Acosta. Great effort in the right field corner. Acosta could not get there. And into third base standing with a leadoff triple is Sidney Johnston.
It's an unfortunate break for CSI there. Acosta tried to make the play in right field. It looked like maybe she got in a little bit too early. Tried to make a diving catch to prevent the single there, and it led to a triple at the end of the day. And now Mercy with a chance to add to their lead with a runner on third, nobody out.
And Nicole Smart, who's had a great day at the plate, takes a called strike. She's 5 for 6 on the day, 1 for 2 in this game. Corners in slightly for the Dolphins. Middle infielders are back. And that's booted at shortstop by Caffel. The runner at third, Johnston, holds there. And Mercy now has runners on the corners with nobody out.
Well, that's one of those situations, Joe, where you're checking the runner at third to see if they're going from home. And Caffel, because of that, bobbled the ball at short, leads to the Dolphins' third error. Now first and third, no one out. And Elizabeth Stark coming up for the Mavericks here.
I was a bit surprised that Johnston didn't go on contact there. That ball was hit pretty slowly. It would have been a close play at the plate. And ultimately, she would have been safe given the fact that the ball was bobbled. Elizabeth Stark, the batter. That's hit to shallow right. Acosta comes in. She makes the catch. Johnston coming home. Throw a bit up the line toward first, but it's in time, and Johnston is out at the plate.
A great throw from Acosta. It was a little bit offline, as you said, but it was perfectly at the plate, and the Dolphins recording a 9-2 double play there, and there's now 2 away.
Nicely done by the Dolphins there. Acosta on the throw, Mayer on the tag, and just like that, there are 2 outs. Very unconventional. 9-9-2 double play right there. First pitch on its way to Haley Puglia. That misses for ball 1. Two 2-0 the count on Puglia here. That misses high for ball 3. You guys need help over there?
Nope, we're good.
Good.
Checking my phone because the NFL draft is tonight, of course, Joe, so got to stay up to date. So the bigger news in the NFL.
Anything I should know about?
Just Lamar Jackson contract extension. That's about it.
He agreed to an extension?
He is officially staying with Baltimore for another 5 years.
Better late than never.
Yep. Good day to do it.
That's in for a called strike, and count is now full, 3-2.
Edwards looking to get that final out of the inning with a strikeout here.
That misses for ball 4. So while I was looking away, Mavericks sent a pinch runner into the game, Maddie Lula. Lula then took second base during the course of that at-bat. And that was Haley Puglia drawing that walk.
She advanced a second on the Acosta throw from right field to get that double play at the plate.
That's what happens when my attention is focused on the play at the plate. Now runners on first and second for the Mavericks, 2 outs. Mia Harris, the batter. Harris in the game. Without an official, She has a base hit here. As I was waiting for our live stats to update. And the play at the plate is in time, and the Dolphins stolen out right there.
Yeah.
They could not get off the field quickly enough, Nick. I took for granted she was safe.
I don't tend to disagree with the Mavericks here, Joe. I think they have a very good case. It seems that the runner was safe at home.
Nick, Jamie Lorenzo certainly has a case. She was safe by a mile. I can't believe they missed that one. But the inning is over.
I wish we had a replay for that one.
I do as well, and we apologize for that. But the weather didn't leave us with a choice at the time. And the Mavericks will will have to settle for a 3-run lead. It's 6-3 headed to the bottom of the 5th. And we are back for the home 5th inning. Dolphins trail by 3. Mariah Carcano leads things off. Count even at 1 on the Dolphins center fielder.
Had a big play at the plate the last half inning.
And that's line into shallow left center, but they had Carcano played perfectly as the catch was made by Puglia for out number 1.
Nice shot by Puglia there. She's had some good plays in the outfield today for the Mavericks. Of course, the first out here.
Well, Nick, you mentioned it. Play at the plate during the last half inning. Mavericks tried to cash in for their 7th run, but the throw got in just in time. At least that's how it was called.
Well, the throw was certainly there, but the tag, we could both agree, it definitely did not seem in time.
Well, if there was a force at the plate, she was out.
Yeah.
There was not a force at the plate. That's fouled away. And the count on Anissa Costa's quickly 0-2.
Costa started the Dolphins off in that previous inning with a leadoff double, was able to score one of the 2 runs in that inning for CSI. And that one, Joe.
Ephus pitch.
Ephus. Need a track to see how many miles per hour that one was.
That raises the question that Lewis asked us last time we were on. I think it was Andrew and I. Could we hit it? As the throw to first on that ground ball by Acosta was not handled by Frank on the bounce. That was hit deep in the hole. And that will go down as a hit for the Dolphins.
That was a tough play. First for Acosta. The ball was pretty much almost near the dirt. And she was able to go down and get that one. And then a tough scoop at first base for the Mavericks. Acosta reaches with an infield hit.
We've said it more than once already. TJ, a very tough strikeout. Amelia Funston at the plate here. Runner on first, 1 out. And that's bounced to second. Chance for 2. Flip to second for 1. Throw to first in time. 4-6-3 double play. And the inning is over. Dolphins get a 1-out hit. Nothing more. And we head to the 6th. Mercy over Staten Island. 6-3. are back for the
Leading off
6th inning.
for the Mavericks, the left fielder, number 9, Shannon Cisco.
That Alexandra Frenza might not be available for Game 2 after 130 pitches, but she's back. And she will start the 6th inning for the Dolphins, who trail by 3. First pitch of the inning misses for ball 1. Very quickly, Frenza misses with ball 2. Tell you, Nick, if you can't hear me, it's because those headphone jacks and the phones got a little bent out of sorts. That's it well to center field. And Cano makes a nice grab on the run. She chased that one back down to the warning track.
Nice shot to track that one down.
One away in the inning.
Now batting the shortstop, number 24, Victoria Sepola.
Victoria Sepola will be the batter. That pitch misses for ball 1. Any better, Nick?
Not through my headset.
Because now I don't hear you through my headset either.
Yeah.
That ball's hit hard out to center, where the catch is made again by Carcano for out number 2.
Nice shot by Carcano there to record the first 2 outs of the inning. Now I hear you, Joe. 2 away.
Okay, so there's an issue here with our main mix button. It's not settling in when it's pressed. Add that one to the agenda for off-season repairs. 2 away here in the road 6th inning. Mavericks have hit 2 balls well out to Carcano. Both have gone for outs. And now Kayla Crawford comes to the plate with the bases empty and 2 away. And she's quickly in a 2-strike hole.
Chance for Frenza here for the strikeout. Quickly up in the count, 0-2.
And the 0-2 is hit out to shallow right center, and that's down for a base hit. Carcano plays it on a hop, and the Mavericks have a 2-out base runner.
Dolphins outfielders were playing deep on that one. Crawford did hit a home run earlier in this game. Able to get that one for a bloop single into right center field to keep the inning going for Mercy.
Samantha Frank will be the batter. Dolphins will likely keep a close eye on Crawford here. She was dancing off of first base on that last pitch, which missed in the dirt for ball 1. That's it well out to center once again. Carcano chased back to the warning track, and she makes another catch in deep center field for the final out of the inning. Mavericks get a 2-out base runner, and she is stranded. We head to the home half of inning number 6. The Dolphins trail 6-3. Home half of the 6th inning from the CSI Softball Complex. Just an inning and a half remaining in the Dolphins season, barring extras from the College of Staten Island. CSI hoping to go out with a win. The Mavericks looking to level their conference record at 10-10. Alyssa Acosta leads things off for the College of Staten Island. She's behind 0-1 after a swing and miss. And the second pitch of the at-bat is fouled away.
Costa, her last time up, had a single and took advantage of the Mavericks defense being in on the play. Try and do it again here, but down in the count 0-2.
Costa 1 for 2 in the game. She looks at ball one, down and away. For those of you who don't tune in for baseball and just follow us for softball, as that's it out to left, and the catch is made by Cisco for the out, this will be our final softball broadcast of the year, just in case we don't get a chance to thank everyone later during a potential seventh-inning rally or late in a quick inning. We want to thank everyone who's tuned in all season long, especially those who have come and found us behind home plate and offered kind words and appreciation for the broadcast. We always love to hear that. We appreciate those words very much. Special thank you to Nick and Andrew, of course, my color commentary partners this season. To Lewis for providing all the stats. And for Stephanie, who makes sure that all of our scoring information from the stats desk and the commentary desk is relayed onto the scoreboard. The crew was here, rain or shine, all season long. And, Nick, the season really flew by.
It really did. You really have to look back at it and you say to yourself, this did really fly by. It really doesn't seem like that with the amount of games that we've covered here. But now with the Dolphins 4 outs away from potentially losing this, they'll try to keep the game going, but it has certainly been a wild ride, to say the least.
I say it all the time. Whenever we cover a game here, we see something new each day.
Yep.
Today, the first time we've had to move into inclement weather protocol. As after Alyssa Acosta opened the inning with an out, Natalia Nath was retired on 1 pitch. Rianne Mayer was retired on 2 pitches. And for Mayer, that very well may be her final at-bat as a Dolphin. We head to the 7th. The Mavericks lead CSI 6-3. And we are back for the 7th inning from the CSI softball complex. Alexandra Frenza back to the circle. Scoreless inning for her in the 6th. Looking to record 3 more outs in relief here in the 7th. Give the Dolphins a chance down by 3. At the plate is Sydney Johnston. She's quickly ahead 2-0. Johnston officially 1 for 1 with a walk in this game. Maddie Lula, the on-deck batter.
Friends are quickly behind in this count now, 3-0.
And that's ball 4. Leadoff walk issued by Frenza. And now Maddie Lula comes to the plate.
Yeah, if you're CSI, if you want to give yourself a chance to tie or walk it off in the bottom of the inning, they really need to get these 3 outs here.
This is a swing and a miss by Lula. If I'm not mistaken, Lula came on as a pinch runner.
She did.
She did. Remained in the game after pinch running.
Well, I mean, obviously she's batting, so of course she'd stayed in the game.
Well, The
I know,
reason
she could have ran. I know.
The reason I said that
I know.
is because she was announced in as the pinch hitter.
Yes.
We knew better.
Well, that's because he's the Devils fan, so that makes sense.
That is correct.
That's probably why it happened.
Got a few screws loose upstairs.
Yeah.
Not exactly all with it.
Any confirmation if you're going tonight or not?
Tickets are moving in the other direction now.
Oh, no.
So we'll see. A lot can change in an hour.
It's possible, yeah.
I guarantee that if we just waited until we got to the arena, it'd be no problem, but not a chance I'm willing to take because the truth is I'm probably willing to pay whatever it takes to get in. I don't know if everyone else feels the same way.
Right.
Now batting the third baseman, number 2, Elizabeth Stark.
We did that in January, waiting to the last minute to buy our tickets.
That worked out.
It did work out.
In our defense, we did try to purchase several times during the car ride.
There's a lot of potential illegal stuff we were doing, trying to get those tickets with the phone.
I would never purchase tickets and drive. That's all I have to say.
No.
Nick was controlling the phone.
I was on the phone.
So Lula struck out. And with 2 away in the inning, or I should say 1 away, Elizabeth Stark is at the plate. The runner on first is Sydney Johnston. The count on Stark is 1-1, and with a swing and a miss, the count runs to 1-2. It's not quite the same calling a game audio only. You have to be much more conscious of the situation. We do have the scoreboard on the screen, which helps. That's popped up on the infield. And Acosta makes the catch for the out.
I was going to say, there's no benefit of replay here. We definitely needed that at the play at the plate that we had.
The center fielder, number 26,
But
Haley Puglia.
when you have an audio-only broadcast, you have to be very aware of what's going on more than you usually are when you're watching these games. Dolphins try to get that final out of the inning.
I know at least one person who's happy we don't have the replay.
Yeah. Joe was pointing towards the home plate umpire. for all our listeners at home.
I thought we'd let our viewers figure that out for themselves.
I'm sure they knew what you were alluding to.
Maybe not, because they didn't see the replay.
That's true.
All in good fun.
Yeah.
Haley Puglia at the plate here. She's ahead 2-1. Now 2 outs in the inning. Johnston still over at first base. Puglia has showed bunt a couple of times in this at-bat. She takes a called strike 2.
She's being very good defensively for Mercy in this game. She's prevented a couple base hits for the Dolphins.
You have to be good defensively to play center field here at CSI. The wind makes it a different experience each and every day.
Now with the full count, runner will be going.
And that's off the glove of Mayer into the backstop for ball 4, but stopping at second was Johnston.
Now batting the right fielder, number 1, Mia Harris.
And that will bring Mia Harris to the plate.
Harris, her last time up, Joe, I was going to say, had that single into center and had to play at the plate.
Harris, 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. That's popped up, and Mayer makes the catch.
They were happy about that one.
Well, the final out the Dolphins record in the field with Mayer as a member of the team is a putout by Mayer on a pop-up behind the plate. CSI hopes that they might be able to walk one off or send this game to extra innings. Dolphins down to their final 3 outs after this break. Home half of the 7th inning from the CSI Softball Complex. Layla Aponte will lead things off for the Dolphins, and she takes high for ball 1. Aponte 0 for 1 with a walk in this game. And she takes a called strike.
Dolphins looking to tie this game and send it to extras or potentially walk it off in their final game of the season.
And that's hit hard out to center field. And that's down for a base hit. Dolphins have the leadoff batter on. And Jessica Carrion will come to the plate.
Carrion with an RBI. Had an RBI hit her last time up. If she's able to get on here, Joe, it would bring the tying run to the plate for the Dolphins.
Carrion 1 for 2 with an RBI. And Nick, a bit early, but do you happen to recall the way that last year's first game against the Mavericks ended on Senior Day?
I don't remember. There's been so many games.
Walk-off Dolphins win. Samantha McPherson on Senior Day with a walk-off RBI hit. That was game 1. The Dolphins lost game 2. This is game 2. The Dolphins lost game 1.
Joe's trying to speak some deja vu potentially into it.
1-1 the count on Carrion. That's tapped to second. They apply the tag on Aponte, but Carrion beats the throw to first.
Carrion was at least able to run that one out and avoid the double play. The Dolphins are now down to their final 2 outs of the season. And Sabrina Caffel coming out for CSI.
Sabrina Caffel will come to the plate here. Victoria Whalen pinch hit for Caffel earlier. Caffel re-entered as that's popped up. Shallow right center, and that's down for a base hit. Good diving attempt by Harris, and she just couldn't get there. Almost made a great play, and now the Dolphins have the tying run at the plate.
They're making this one interesting, Joe. Tying run at the plate in Mariah Carcano, first and second, and you got 2 really good runners on the bases for the Dolphins. So anything into the gap could bring home both of those runs to make it a 1-run game.
Mariah Carcano, the batter. That's hit to short. Flip to third for 1, and that's all they'll get.
Well, Joe, Dolphins are now down to their final out of the season, but the person at bat is who you want in this situation. Down 3 runs, tying run. It's Anissa Acosta with a chance to keep this game going for CSI.
You have to think that TJ will take at least 1 swing for the fences here. See if they give her a chance. And she looks at a strike.
You know, Anissa's looking to keep this game going, keep the season going for CSI right here.
TJ's reached base 3 times in this game. 2 for 2 with a walk. Single and a double, accounting for her 2 hits. Count even at 1. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
And there was that swing you were talking about earlier. Looking for it right there. Speak about it a lot. She's very hard to get a strikeout on. Dolphins down to the final strike here.
Here comes the 1 and 2. And that's it right back to the circle. And that was initially off the glove of Provencio, but she recovers and flips to first in time for the final out of the game. Mavericks come into the CSI Softball Complex and sweep the Dolphins. They take Game 1 7-2. They win Game 2 6-3. Mercy ends their season 10-10 against the East Coast Conference. The Dolphins finished 3-17 in conference play.
A tough end of the season for CSI. They had a chance in that bottom of the 7th inning to maybe make it a 1-run game, but unfortunately, they fall in this one 6-3, and now they'll have to look towards next season and see what they can regroup on.
For the Dolphins, this season was their first of playoff eligibility in the East Coast Conference. It obviously does not end the way the team would have liked, and things won't get any easier next year because this year, only 5 of the 6 teams in the ECC were eligible for the postseason. Deauville was not eligible to qualify this year, So that gave the Dolphins a bit of an easier path. D'Youville no longer a provisional program next year, so the Dolphins will have to contend with the Saints as well. Also in the future, you would think the ECC would probably look to add one more team into the conference to replace the University of Bridgeport, as Bridgeport departed ahead of this year. So the Dolphins have a lot to contend with moving forward, but given the way this season started, there was a lot of optimism around this Dolphins team. Of course, it doesn't end the way they would have liked, but still, they will return most of this roster for next year. With another recruiting class comes another reason for excitement next season.
Yeah, that's really what you look forward to when a season like this happens, unfortunately. When you have things go against you, you kind of look towards next season and see what are the bright spots going into that year. And you talked about it. A lot of this team will be back for next season. They're able to add a couple of people as well from the recruiting class. So we'll have to see if next year could be a very exciting year for CSI.
Well, we got a chance to say thank you before to everyone who has tuned in all season long. But for those of you who stuck with us today, especially with an audio-only broadcast, thank you for watching all season long on the call. This has been Joe Foreman alongside Nick Bavona for this game and alongside Andrew Rotundo for many other games throughout the season. From all of us here at the College of Staten Island, we thank you for watching. Once again, our final scores today: Mercy takes Game 1 7-2. Mercy takes Game 2 6-3. Our next broadcast currently scheduled for Sunday over at the Baseball Diamond. However, it remains to be seen if the weather will allow us to play those games. If we do play, we are not certain that we will have voice for those games. We are working on that. These games have been moved several times already, so right now we are unsure of what the situation will be in terms of broadcasters for Sunday. However, there will certainly be video on Sunday, and you can tune in on CSI Sportsnet to catch all of the action between the Dolphins and Spartans. That series begins tomorrow on the road. Those games will be on the ECC Network tomorrow. First pitch, Game 1, 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, so be sure to tune in early as we have an 11:30 p.m. first pitch on the road, Dolphins and Spartans getting underway tomorrow. But until our next broadcast, thank you everyone for tuning in. For those of you tuning in for the final time this year, thanks for watching and listening all season long. Dolphins fall in a doubleheader to the Mavericks here today at home in their season finale. CSI celebrated their lone senior, Rianne Mayer, as well. Congratulations to her. Best of luck in the future. We'll see all of you next season right back here on CSI Sportsnet.